Chapter 1270. You only have 5 minutes. It was Chiyoya. She was wearing a red kimono and had light makeup on her face. Her every move was enchanting and seductive. She did not look like a Japanese ninja at all. It was as if she was a completely different person. Before Qin Feng could speak, the divine dragon walked up to him and grabbed his collar. You bastard, you're still in the mood to flirt with a Japanese girl at a time like this? Believe it or not, I'll call my sister right now and ask her to leave you. The divine dragon was speechless at Qin Feng's playboy behavior. He could not be bothered with such things, but his sister, Shuer, had fallen in love with Qin Feng. For the sake of his sister's future happiness, the divine dragon had to control the number of women Qin Feng had. Qin Feng was not angry. He smiled. Senior divine dragon, you must be mistaken. It was this girl who came to me. I'm not flirting with her. The divine dragon was stunned. It was just as Qin Feng said. He let go of Qin Feng and turned to glare at Chiyoya. What are you doing here? You're a Japanese ninja. Don't try to play tricks here. We won't fall for it. Chiyoya wore wooden clogs and bowed slightly like a typical Japanese courtesan. Her voice was neither fast nor slow as she said, Senior Dragon God, I've admired hero Qin Feng for a long time. This time, I'm here to talk to him alone. The dragon god's face turned cold. How could he believe Chiyoya's words? However, he heard Qin Feng say, See, I told you this woman was attracted by my mighty and domineering aura and offered herself to me. Senior Dragon God, are you blind? Get out now. Don't delay my business. Qin Feng acted like a pig. The divine dragon was so angry that he wanted to slap him to death. No, this woman is a Japanese ninja. Her identity is questionable. I want to take her away. The divine dragon's face turned cold as he walked toward Chiyoya. Chiyoya didn't look like a ninja expert at all. She was so scared that she trembled. She hurriedly ran to Qin Feng's side and hugged his arm. She had a lovely expression as she pleaded, Hero Qin Feng, please let me stay. How could I be a match for you? If I really come to harm you, won't I be digging my own grave? Qin Feng pulled Chiyoya into his arms and said with a frivolous smile, Yes, yes, how dare you assassinate me? You must have been subdued by my might and wholeheartedly submitted to me, right? Chiyoya had received orders from Lord Gongchuan and had no choice but to assassinate Qin Feng. She thought she would have to go through a lot of trouble, but who would have thought that Qin Feng was a pervert? Seeing his pig-headed, brainless, and lecherous appearance, Chiyoya felt a wave of disdain in her heart. Qin Feng, you... The divine dragon was so angry that his face turned pale. However, before he could finish, Qin Feng angrily shouted, That's enough, divine dragon. Are you jealous of my skills and talent? You're no longer the #1 martial artist in Huaxia, yet you're not convinced by my words? I'm telling you to leave now. If you dare to disturb me and Miss Chiyoya again, I won't be polite. Qin Feng suddenly turned hostile. The mystical dragon stared at him with an incredulous expression. After a long time, he swung his sleeves and left angrily. Qin Feng, just you wait. I'll defeat you sooner or later. As soon as the mystical dragon left, Chiyoya's anxious heart finally calmed down. At this moment, she was lying in Qin Feng's arms and being caressed by his big hands. She was so angry that she wanted to kill him. However, Chiyoya suppressed the anger in her heart. It was not easy for her to sneak into the hotel room. If she was not completely confident that she could kill Qin Feng, she would not give herself away so easily. Senior Divine Dragon, what's going on inside? As soon as the mystical dragon left the room, 2 beautiful figures floated over. The mystical dragon's angry expression had long disappeared. He said to Lu Bingbing and Yan Wushuang calmly, I just put on an act with Qin Feng. I think Chiyoya was fooled. Lu Bingbing's face turned cold. That evil woman dared to assassinate Qin Feng. I can't wait to kill her right now. Yan Wushuang quickly stopped Lu Bingbing and advised, Don't worry, Qin Feng has his own plan. We can't ruin his plan. Chiyoya is Japan's #1 ninja, but her strength is only at the peak of stage 9 inner chi. She's no threat to Qin Feng. It turned out that Qin Feng had long discovered Tyrannokuin's abnormality. He had been waiting to see what tricks Japan had up their sleeves. Today, Xiaoya took the initiative to come to him, so Qin Feng beat her at her own game. He made the mystical dragon act with him in an attempt to find out Japan's secret plan step by step. Now that everything was going smoothly, Xiaoya thought Qin Feng was bewitched by her. Little did she know, she had already fallen into Qin Feng's trap. Hero Qin Feng, Xiaoya has learned massage techniques since young. Do you want me to massage your body? In the room, Xiaoya began her next move when she saw that Qin Feng was bewitched by her. Qin Feng put on a cute expression and said defenselessly, "Really? That's great. Hurry up and help me take off my clothes." Xiaoya suppressed the disgust in her heart and plastered a charming smile on her face. She stretched out her slender, jade-like hands to help Qin Feng change his clothes. Very quickly, Xiaoya removed Qin Feng's clothes. She smiled and said, "All right, quickly lie down." Qin Feng curled his lips and said, "That's it? I haven't taken off my pants yet." Xiaoya's beautiful eyes flashed with coldness. She almost slapped Qin Feng with her palm. "Hero Qin Feng, I only want to massage your back. You don't have to take off your pants." Qin Feng was immediately displeased. He complained, "What kind of massage is that? Forget it. Forget it. Don't massage me." Xiaoya's heart sank. She wanted to numb Qin Feng's guard during the massage. Then she would take the opportunity to stab him to death. If Qin Feng did not massage, how could she do it? "All right then, Hero Qin Feng, please take off your pants," Xiaoya said with a red face. "Help me take it off. I'm too lazy to do it myself." Xiaoya was so angry that her chest heaved up and down. However, she quickly calmed down and extended her hand. In the end, Qin Feng lay naked on the big bed. Xiaoya was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She initially told Qin Feng to just wear his underwear, but Qin Feng ripped it off. It was Xiaoya's first time seeing a man's body. When Qin Feng pushed her last time, she kept her eyes closed and did not take a closer look. Now that she had to massage Qin Feng and find the fatal acupuncture point on his neck, Xiaoya could not help but look at Qin Feng's body. Her heart started to beat faster. "Lord Qin Feng, I'll start." Xiaoya extended her slender hand and placed it on Qin Feng's back. She slowly moved towards his neck. Just as she was about to grab hold of Qin Feng's neck and pinch him lightly, she heard his voice. "Miss Xiaoya, weren't you saying that you wanted to kill me 2 days ago? Why did you suddenly offer yourself to me?" Xiaoya's hands stopped abruptly, and her eyes darted around quickly. "Mr. Qin Fengkuan, you've killed 2 Jinins of Japan on your own, and even forced Tyrannokuin to flee. I'm deeply impressed by your strength. Now that you're guarding China, I don't dare to stay in Japan anymore. I'm here to seek refuge with you." Xiaoya purposely said nice things to deceive Qin Feng. Qin Feng instantly laughed. "Haha, a wise man submits to circumstances. You have good taste. If you follow me, I guarantee that you'll live a stable and wealthy life." Xiaoya felt disgusted when she saw Qin Feng lose his bearings after being praised. She wanted to commit suicide when she thought about how her body had been taken by this man. Her hands continued to move. Just as she touched his spine, Qin Feng suddenly flipped over and turned around. "Ah, Lord Qin Feng, why you?" Xiaoya was caught off guard. She saw something she should not have seen. She was so shocked that she jumped off the bed. Qin Feng acted as if nothing had happened. He gave Xiaoya a sideways glance and reprimanded, "Woman, why are you so surprised? Hurry up and give me a massage. Didn't you say that you wanted to seek refuge with me?" Xiaoya lowered her head and did not dare to look around. Her cold face was flushed. She was about to die from anger because of Qin Feng. She almost killed him twice, but she was interrupted each time. "Lord Qin Feng, I think we should start from the back," Xiaoya said guiltily. Qin Feng immediately waved his hand. "There's nothing to massage on the back. Let's start from the front." Xiaoya was speechless. As a ninja, she would do anything to kill her target. Since things had come to this, she had no other choice. She could only brace herself and return to the bed. "Lord Qin Feng, are you thirsty? I'll pour you a glass of red wine. After Choya sat down, she suddenly stood up and poured a glass of red wine. Do you want me to feed you? Choya smiled seductively. She sat on Qin Feng and hooked her arms around his neck. Qin Feng laughed coldly in his heart. However, he pretended to be frivolous and said, Sure, you can feed me mouth to mouth. Choya was so angry that her body trembled. She almost splashed the glass of red wine on Qin Feng's face. Sure, Lord Qin Feng, you must drink it. Choya gritted her teeth and drank half a mouthful of red wine. Then, she suddenly kissed Qin Feng on the lips. She wanted to put the poison wine in Qin Feng's mouth and get up. However, she did not expect Qin Feng to hug her and kiss her passionately. Lord Qin Feng, let go. Choya started to struggle. Her body became cold. The frivolous expression on Qin Feng's face disappeared. He laughed coldly and said, Didn't you come to offer your body? Why are you letting go? Do you want me to push you down again? Choya's expression changed greatly. She looked at Qin Feng's cold smile and felt uneasy. She felt as if he had seen through her. You bastard, I'll kill you. At this point, Choya could no longer pretend. She suddenly pulled out a scimitar from the back of her waist and slashed it towards Qin Feng's neck. Clang! Qin Feng casually slapped the scimitar to the ground. He threw Choya onto the bed and stood beside the bed. He looked at her coldly and said, You want to assassinate me? Since things had developed to this point, Choya did not need to pretend anymore. She immediately squatted on the bed and put on a fighting stance. She shouted, Of course I'm going to kill you, you beast. This is the price you have to pay for violating me. Qin Feng laughed loudly. Haha, do you think you can kill me? Choya also laughed. I've poisoned the red wine you just drank with Japanese poison. You only have 5 minutes left to live. Chapter 1271. Haha, do you think I don't have the antidote? Choya looked at Qin Feng as if she was looking at an idiot. Qin Feng's expression calmed down. He sighed as he put on his clothes. Sigh, what should I say to you? Do you think the higher-ups of Japan will give you an antidote? If that's the case, I'll be able to find the antidote from you. The smile on Choya's face froze. Her beautiful eyes were filled with disbelief. She could feel the abnormality in her body. It was as if her blood was going to freeze, and her movements were slowing down. Choya never thought that she would be involved in Japan's scheme to kill Qin Feng. She had joined Japan's secret ninja since she was 5 years old. She had risked her life for Japan over the past 20 years and completed many important missions. After Qin Feng put on his clothes, he walked towards the dumbfounded Choya and pulled her into his embrace. His large hands caressed her body without restraint. Choya's expression turned cold. However, her body was completely numb after being poisoned. She could only watch as Qin Feng ravaged her. In the next moment, Choya screamed, Why aren't you poisoned? Qin Feng pinched Choya's little face. He shook his head and sighed. Sigh! What a pity. Such a beautiful and moving Japanese girl wants to go against me. I can only kill you. Ever since I left the island, I realized something was wrong with Tuoyi. I knew that Japan was going to implement a new plan. I summoned you just to beat you at your own game. You've fallen into my trap since the beginning. No matter if you're in Japan or here, you're just a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. As for the poison developed by Japan, do you think it can kill me? Even the people from the poison sect, the #1 poison sect in China, are afraid of me. I'm an antidote expert. Qin Feng had already purchased an all-purpose antidote from the system. Not to mention the poison from Japan, even the king of poisons used by the Inyang elders of the poison sect was ineffective against Qin Feng. The king of poisons was the world's most mysterious poison. After everything was clear, Choya was completely disheartened. Her beautiful eyes lost their luster. She looked like a puppet whose soul had been taken away. At this moment, she widened her eyes and saw Qin Feng kissing her on the lips. It seemed like he was feeding her something. You scram. Since I've fallen into your hands, then quickly kill me. Choya used the last of her strength to push Qin Feng away. She thought Qin Feng was going to push her down again. Choya would rather die than be violated again. She watched as Qin Feng leisurely walked out of the room and left her sitting on the bed. Choya was confused by Qin Feng's strange behavior. After a while, she was greatly shocked. She discovered that the abnormal condition in her body was quickly alleviating. Her numb and stiff limbs gradually regained feeling, and finally, they completely returned to normal. 10 minutes later, Choya walked out of the room with a complicated expression. She found that Qin Feng had cured her of the poison. At this moment, Qin Feng was standing next to a large floor-to-ceiling window, holding a glass of red wine in his hand. Opposite him was the scenery of the island, and he could see some Japanese warships cruising in the sea. Why did you save me? Choya was confused. She originally hated Qin Feng to the core and swore to kill him to take revenge. However, after experiencing this incident, her thoughts began to waver. Choya had served Japan loyally for more than 20 years. She did not expect that Japan would plot against her just to kill Qin Feng. In the end, it was Qin Feng, whom she hated the most, who saved her life. Sometimes, life loved to play a joke on you. Choya found it extremely funny. Qin Feng did not turn around. He took a sip of red wine and said indifferently, "You're just a chess piece of Japan. You're no threat to me. After all, we've been intimate before. Why must I kill you?" Qin Feng's words made Choya blush. She could not help but recall the time when she was raped on the island. Her initial anger had now calmed down. Choya was completely confused. When the hatred in her heart disappeared, she realized that there was no reason for her to continue living. She lifted her head to look at the incomparably tall Qin Feng standing under the floor-to-ceiling window. Choya suddenly pulled out the scimitar at her waist. However, she did not stab Qin Feng's back. Instead, she slashed at her neck. Clang! The scimitar fell to the ground. Qin Feng turned around and sighed. "Do you really want to die that badly?" Choya's body went limp and she fell to the ground weakly. The previously cold and arrogant Japan's #1 ninja was now in dire straits. She realized that she did not even have the ability to kill herself in front of Qin Feng. She even tried to kill Qin Feng. "I failed my mission. According to Japan's ninja system, I have to kill myself," Choya said expressionlessly. She was like a soulless puppet. Qin Feng poured a glass of red wine and handed it to Choya. He said to her puzzled expression, "Your life is your own. How can you let others decide whether you live or die? If you still want to live in this world, you don't have to kill yourself. If you really want to die, I won't stop you anymore." Choya's expression became complicated. Of course, she did not want to die. However, there was no direction for her to live. Qin Feng saw the struggle on her face. He continued, "Miss Choya, why don't you join the Huaxia organization? Follow me from now on. I promise you'll live a new life." Choya suddenly raised her head and looked at Qin Feng. Her beautiful eyes hid a trace of anticipation. She joined the Japan Ninja Base at the age of 5 and experienced a cruel life that normal people could not imagine. While others spent their childhood in laughter and happiness, Choya was training arduously in a secret base that never saw the light of day. How cruel and intense the training of a ninja is. She was the only one left from the same batch of ninja students. They killed each other and survived by stepping on the corpses of others. They have no relatives, no friends, no feelings, and no normal life. Choya was now 25 years old. She was at the prime of her life, but she had never been in a relationship before. She had never even watched a movie before. This was not the life she wanted from the bottom of her heart. But I can't betray the Japan Ninja Organization. Choya's beautiful eyes were filled with struggle. Her voice was as soft as a mosquito. Qin Feng pulled her up from the ground and sat on the sofa. "You don't want to betray the Japan Ninja Organization, but they never took you seriously. They were willing to sacrifice your life to complete their mission. Is this kind of organization worth your life?" Choya was stunned. Qin Feng's words pierced straight into her heart. "Of course, you have to choose your own life. I just hope that you can join us. This way, I can make up for the sins that I've done to you." Qin Feng suddenly looked at Choya with a sincere expression in his eyes. The last line of defense in Chiu Ya's heart collapsed instantly. She had already become Qin Feng's woman. Now that she saw the man who had committed a sin was willing to make up for it and take the initiative to apologize, Chiu Ya's heart that had been frozen for more than 20 years suddenly melted. Mr. Qin Feng, Japan sent me to assassinate you. They even came up with a new plan. They want to completely defeat the Huaxia forces stationed on the island. Chiu Ya suddenly looked like a different person. She looked at Qin Feng with an obedient expression. Even Qin Feng was stunned for a moment. Wasn't this woman's face changing too quickly? It even made him suspect that this woman was playing some tricks again. Chiu Ya saw through Qin Feng's thoughts. She moved her body and sat next to Qin Feng. She even took the initiative to hold his arm. Mr. Qin Feng, as a Japanese ninja, I've retained the traditional values of Japanese women. You're my only man, so I'll be obedient to you in the future. I hope you won't let Chiu Ya down. Qin Feng's eyes widened. He wondered if he should take in a few more Japanese women when he had the time. Chiu Ya's transformation was drastic. She looked like she had completely submitted to Qin Feng. After talking to her and observing her, Qin Feng realized that this woman was not pretending. She was really obedient to him. Chiu Ya, tell me about Japan's new plan. After Qin Feng confirmed that Chiu Ya was fine, he immediately asked about the main topic. Chiu Ya told him everything she knew. Mr. Qin Feng, you killed 2 Japanese ninjas in a row and caused a ruckus on the island 3 days ago. You've completely infuriated Master Miyagawa and Tino-kun. They asked me to assassinate you. As long as you're dead, I'll send a signal back and work with them to completely destroy the Huaxia forces here. Qin Feng's eyes flashed coldly. This Tino-kun was really sinister and cunning. Fortunately, he figured out the situation early on. Otherwise, the Huaxia forces stationed here would be finished. The plan can't be that simple, right? They must have made double preparations. What if you fail? Qin Feng continued to ask. Chiu Ya's face darkened. She was filled with anger when she thought about how Japan treated her like a chess piece. Mr. Qin Feng, I don't know what they'll do if I fail. Tino-kun seems to have suspected me. He didn't tell me any other plans. Qin Feng looked deeply into Chiu Ya's eyes and analyzed her words. Chiu Ya leaned into Qin Feng's embrace. Mr. Qin Feng, I know you don't really trust me yet, but I'm telling the truth. I believe time will prove everything. Since I've chosen to submit to you, I won't betray you even if I die. Chiu Ya snuggled into Qin Feng's embrace like a kitten. Qin Feng did not know what to do. All right, I'll believe you this time. Now, help me do something important. Qin Feng's expression suddenly became serious. Chiu Ya immediately sat up straight and regained her cool and capable demeanor. Mr. Qin Feng, tell me. I'll definitely do my best. Go back to the island now and tell Tino-kun this. Qin Feng told Chiu Ya his plan. Chiu Ya's eyes lit up as she listened. She praised Qin Feng's intelligence and wisdom. At the same time, Chiu Ya's heart was filled with warmth. It was the warmth of being trusted by someone. Chapter 1272. Chiu Ya left the hotel alone after learning about Qin Feng's plan. Lu Bingbing, Yan Wushuang, and the Divine Dragon walked into the suite and surrounded Qin Feng. Qin Feng, how was it? Is that woman reliable? Divine Dragon asked. I told her the plan. She'll lure Japan to attack us, and then we'll capture them all. Qin Feng said. Divine Dragon looked serious, but he didn't say anything else. Yan Wushuang said anxiously, You've only met her for less than 2 hours, and you've already told her the plan? What if she betrays us? Lu Bingbing was also on guard as she said, Wushuang's right. We can't completely trust that woman. She's Japan's #1 heavenly ninja, and she's been training in Japan's ninja base since she was young. How could she betray Japan so easily? The 3 of them didn't think Chiu Ya would win because they didn't know what happened between Chiu Ya and Qin Feng. Since Qin Feng chose to trust Chiu Ya, he wouldn't change his mind. Don't worry, guys. Chiu Ya will be fine. She'll always be on our side. Yan Wushuang and the other 2 looked at Qin Feng strangely when he said that. Qin Feng got goosebumps. Qin Feng, you didn't make it real, did you? Divine Dragon rolled his eyes and asked. Yan Wushuang put her hands on her hips while Lu Bingbing crossed her arms. Both of them stared at Qin Fan coldly. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, I'll go to bed if there's nothing else. I'm not feeling well recently. Qin Fan quickly changed the topic and was ready to escape. Divine Dragon didn't let him go. He blocked his way and asked, You didn't fight for the past 3 days. Why aren't you feeling well? How do you know I didn't fight? I couldn't sleep every night because of the intense fights with Bingbing and Wushuang. You can ask them if you don't believe me. Qin Fan ran into the master bedroom after he said that, leaving Divine Dragon dumbfounded. He suddenly looked at the two women. Lu Bingbing and Yan Wushuang were so embarrassed that they wanted to hide in a hole. Why did Qin Fan say everything? Senior Divine Dragon, we're tired too. Do you want to? Yan Wushuang pretended and said. No matter how stupid the dragon god was, he still understood. He cursed Qin Fan in his heart and turned to leave. Qiuya had already returned to the shore of the island. In order to appear more realistic, she made a deep cut on her arm. Who is it? This is the forbidden area of the island. Leave quickly or we will open fire. The soldiers guarding the coast began to shout into the microphone. Qiuya hurriedly shouted, I'm Miss Qiuya, the Japanese shinobi. The soldiers on the other side were stunned. One of the officers immediately drove a yacht over. Miss Qiuya, it's really you. What happened to you? Qiuya covered her injured arm and jumped onto the yacht from a makeshift wooden plank. Hurry up and sail back to the base. I've just killed Qin Fan from China. Their people will be here soon. Qiuya's words shocked the officer. In the past week, Qin Feng's name had spread across the island like a saint. This expert hired by China was too powerful. He had killed 2 Japanese shinobi by himself. 3 days ago, he even forced Tonokuin into hiding. In the end, he had to use a warship to force him to leave. Now, all the Japanese soldiers and ninjas were on tenterhooks. They were afraid that Qin Fan would suddenly attack again. Who would have thought that Miss Qiuya would kill him? Miss Qiuya, are you joking? You killed Qin Fan from China? The officer looked incredulous. Qiuya glared at him coldly and reprimanded. Are you questioning my words? The officer was so scared that his body trembled. He quickly put on a fawning smile and said, I don't dare. I'll drive the yacht back now. The two of them sat on a yacht and sailed on the vast ocean. There was no one else around them. The officer stole glances at Qiuya's sexy figure and beautiful face from time to time. Seeing that she seemed to be injured, he wanted to pounce on her a few times. However, when he remembered that she was one of the Japanese shinobi, the officer's thought disappeared. They drove all the way to the shore of the island. The soldiers who were guarding the shore were not aware of Tonokuin's plan. When they saw Miss Qiuya coming back injured, they were suspicious. Master Miyagawa seemed to have received the news. At this moment, he was standing on the shore with Tonokuin and a few Japanese shinobi. When they saw Qiuya, their expressions changed. Miss Qiuya, congratulations on your triumphant return. Tonokuin's face was beaming like a wild chrysanthemum. Since Qiuya was able to come back alive, it was very likely that she had killed Qin Fan. Master Miyagawa, Tonokuin, let's talk in the tent. Qiuya gave everyone a look. Everyone quickly escorted her into the tent. Master Miyagawa could not hold back his emotions. The moment he entered the tent, he asked, Miss Qiuya, how did it go? Master Miyagawa, everything went smoothly. I killed Qin Fan. As soon as Qiuya said that, the atmosphere in the tent became silent. Qin Feng's appearance had completely disrupted Japan's plan to seize the island. The Japanese soldiers and ninjas were at their wits' end. It could be said that he was the key to the victory of this battle. Now that Qin Fan was dead, the news was too shocking. Miss Qiuya, where's Qin Feng's head? Tonokuin quickly regained his senses and asked excitedly. The rest of the people looked at Qiuya. They saw that she did not have anything in her hands, and there was no place to hide Qin Feng's head on her body. I'm sorry, Tonokuin. I was discovered by the guards after I killed Qin Fan. I escaped from the top floor of the hotel, and it was a close shave. Chiyoya said solemnly. The few of them calmed down from their excitement. They even stared at Chiyoya with a doubtful look on their faces. Now that Qin Feng's head was nowhere to be seen, no one would believe that Qin Feng was dead just based on Chiyoya's words. Miss Chiyoya, you're making it hard for us to believe you. We've already promised to bring back Qin Feng's head. You've failed your mission. Tono-kun had long suspected Chiyoya, so he reprimanded her. Chiyoya's expression did not change. She said calmly, "It's true that I didn't bring back Qin Feng's head. I failed the mission that Tono-kun and Master Miyagawa gave me. I'm willing to accept my punishment. However, I can guarantee with my own head that Qin Feng is really dead. There was no head to prove Qin Feng's death." However, Chiyoya's serious expression left everyone at a loss. Master Miyagawa secretly glanced at Tono-kun. Tono-kun continued, "Since you said that Qin Feng is dead, why don't you tell us in detail how he died?" I followed Tono-kun's instructions and went to the Huaxia base to declare my allegiance to Qin Feng. Then I met him alone in the hotel. Qin Feng is a pervert. I used a honey trap to get rid of his guard against me. When he was in the heat of the moment, I broke his neck and killed him. Chiyoya was not stupid. She did not say that she used poison to kill Qin Feng because there was no antidote for that poison. If she said it, she would give herself away. Tono-kun and Master Miyagawa looked serious. They were analyzing the credibility of Chiyoya's words. Meanwhile, Kuroki and Sanjiro secretly glanced at Chiyoya's arrogant figure. When they heard that Chiyoya used her body to confuse Qin Feng, they were tempted. The tent fell silent. No one spoke. At that moment, a cannon was fired from outside. Then, a soldier ran in to report the situation. "What's going on outside?" Master Miyagawa's face was cold. The soldier said anxiously, "Master Miyagawa, ninja gods, the Huaxia people are here. They said that Qin Feng was killed. They want to massacre our warships and soldiers." The sudden news shocked everyone. Master Miyagawa and Tono-kun did not trust Chiyoya. However, they calmed down now. "Ha! Good, good." Lord Miyagawa threw his head back and laughed maniacally, confusing the soldier. The Huaxia warships were coming at them fiercely. How could she say that they fought well? Was there something wrong with her? Tono-kun smiled. He looked at Chiyoya and said, "Ha! Miss Chiyoya, you did well this time. You completed the mission successfully. I will give you credit in the ninja base." Chiyoya heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that Teiko and Miyagawa believed her. She cupped her fists and said, "Chiyoya does not care about credit. I am satisfied to be able to serve Japan. Now that Huaxia has lost Qin Feng, the rest of the people are in a mess. Now is the best time for them to fight back." Chiyoya added. Teiko and Miyagawa's eyes lit up. They agreed with Chiyoya's suggestion. Miyagawa ordered the soldier, "Go and tell General Zeding to attack all the warships along the coast. Try to wipe out the Huaxia forces in one go." The soldier did not know what was going on. However, he did not dare to ask. He immediately went to pass the order. The ninjas in the room were eager to try. Now that Qin Feng was dead, they had nothing to worry about. "Master Miyagawa, since we are going to attack, let's do something big. Wipe out the Huaxia forces on the other side and take over the territory there," Kurome said excitedly. Thrice Man echoed, "The Huaxia warships are no match for us. They will definitely be defeated. The dragon sect is just SOSO. Why don't we attack the opposite base now and wipe out the dragon sect and the soldiers on the other side?" Everyone came to a consensus. Tono-kun was also excited. He looked at Master Miyagawa and said, "Master, we are waiting for your order." Master Miyagawa was excited, but he quickly calmed down. "Tono-kun, since Qin Feng is dead, the dragon sect on the other side is not worth mentioning. You don't have to do anything. It is better for you to guard the island base." Chapter 1273. Miyagawa was indeed a wily old fox. He was extremely cautious in his actions and managed to kill Tyranno-kun in the end. The rest of the godly ninjas agreed as well. As long as Qin Feng was dead, they had nothing to fear. Chiyoya's beautiful eyes flashed with anxiety. She was thinking of finding a chance to pass the message to Qin Kuan. After everyone was done with their tasks, they left the camp hastily and went to the shore of the island. More than 20 Japanese warships were launched and sailed towards the center of the sea. Even General Zeding personally commanded this fierce naval battle. Miyagawa looked at the sea with his binoculars and saw more than 10 warships coming from China's base. It seemed like they were preparing for a big battle. Haha! This is great! This is great! These Chinese cowards have been guarding the opposite shore for a month. They have never launched a naval battle with such great fanfare. This time they won't be able to return. Miyagawa was not afraid of China's naval forces. He could not wait for China's warships to attack them so that he could annihilate them all. As Japanese godly ninjas, Tyrannokuan and the rest could clearly see the situation on the sea without the binoculars. They sneered when they saw that China was about to launch a war. This was in line with their secret plan. Master Miyagawa, all of China's warships are deployed. Only Dragon Sect is left on the opposite shore. Let's sneak into the opposite shore and defeat Dragon Sect, Thrice Man said excitedly. Yimei Hui and Kuromkuin could not wait any longer. Qin Fan's appearance had pressured the Japanese godly ninjas to the point of suffocation. Now they could finally go on a killing spree. All right, be careful. Miyagawa and the rest nodded. The 4 Japanese godly ninjas led more than 50 top-notch ninjas toward China's base on the opposite shore. The island was guarded by Lord Miyagawa and Lord Takano. Lord Miyagawa was full of smiles when he saw that the battle had begun. Miss Chiu Ya's contribution this time cannot go unnoticed. She actually killed Qin Feng. She has really helped us to eliminate a huge threat. Tyrannokuan no longer doubted Chiu Ya. He said with a smile, I suspected her before, but it seems like it was a misunderstanding. Japan will definitely win this battle. Currently, the Sakura country's warships had the upper hand in the battle on the sea. There were also 4 shinobi leading a group of elites to attack the opposite shore. On top of that, there was Tarokuin guarding the island. This battle seemed to be in the bag. Although it had only just begun, Tonokuin and Miyagawa-sama looked as if they had won a great victory. Rumble. But at this moment, a loud sound came from the distant sea surface. The originally calm sea suddenly surged up with huge waves, as if a storm had arrived. Lord Gong Chuan's expression changed drastically as he exclaimed, What is that? Takano Jun's brows furrowed as he gazed towards the center of the sea, only to see waves rising in all directions. The water in the center of the sea seemed to be flowing backwards, forming a huge whirlpool. A gigantic monster rose from the whirlpool, causing Tonokuin to panic. Oh no, it's a sea monster from China. They actually summoned it again, last time. When Qin Fan led the Black Tortoise to defeat the Sakura country's warships, it left a huge shadow in the hearts of the Sakura country's navy. Because of the Black Tortoise's might, the Sakura country's navy had been deterred from patrolling the sea for the past few days. If it wasn't for Miyagawa-sama's order, the Sakura country's warships wouldn't have set out to sea. In the end, they encountered a sea monster from China as soon as the battle began. Oh no! I've been so focused on Qin Fan that I've forgotten about this sea monster. With this monster here, our warships won't be able to withstand its attack. Miyagawa-sama panicked. Tonokuin had already calmed down. He immediately boarded a yacht and said, Master Miyagawa-sama, please calm down. Bring me to kill that monster. Miyagawa-sama initially wanted to keep Tonokuin on the island, but the situation had changed. He had no choice but to watch Tonokuin leave. At this time, the battle on the sea had already begun. More than 20 Sakura country's warships had surrounded the Huaxia country's warships. Something's wrong. There's no one on their warships. Sir, the sea monster has appeared again. Let's retreat. We've been tricked. We've been tricked. There's no one on the Huaxia country's warships. They're baiting us and using the sea monster to defeat us. Report to General Zeding. The soldiers on the Sakura country's warships, who seemed to have the upper hand, fell into chaos. The moment the Black Tortoise appeared, it brought with it a strong gust of wind and a roar that could topple a warship. General Zeding was furious when he received the news from the front line. As the admiral of the Navy, he had a wealth of battle experience. For the past month, he had been suppressing the Huaxia country's warships and forcing them to retreat. He never thought that he would be tricked by the Huaxia country's warships at such a crucial moment. Retreat. Everyone, retreat. General Zeding ordered without hesitation. He had participated in the battle a week ago. At that time, he was badly injured by the Black Tortoise's power. Now that he saw the sea monster again, General Zeding did not even have the courage to fight it. More than 20 warships immediately changed their direction. After a short while, Takano Kuinsan's furious roar came from behind. Kill them all. You guys deal with the enemy's warships. I'll destroy the sea monster. Seeing that Takano had arrived, the Sakura country soldiers who had lost their morale immediately regained their morale. They turned their ships around and rushed towards the Huaxia country's warships. General Zeding quickly spoke to Takano Kuinsan. Elder Takano, the enemy's warships do not have any marine soldiers. They're baiting us on purpose. Are we really going to continue attacking? Takano was shocked. He felt that something was not right. However, there was no time to think about it. He ordered General Zeding, since the enemy's warships do not have any marine soldiers, it'll be easier to attack. I want you to finish the battle quickly. Retreat immediately after you sink the enemy's warships. General Zeding had no way out. He had no choice but to command the 20 warships to attack the enemy. The sea was bombarded with cannons. The ferocious attack seemed to be able to blow up the sea. The Black Tortoise had already reached the side of the Sakura country's warships. The many-banded kite soared into the sky like a dragon emerging from the bottom of the sea. It opened its mouth and spat out poisonous bubbles like rain. Everyone be careful. Don't spray the poison from the dragon's mouth. General Zeding had seen the power of the Black Tortoise last time. However, the poisonous bubbles were as dense as rain. They were so fast that many soldiers could not dodge in time. Their bodies were corroded by the poisonous bubbles and melted instantly. Everyone was so shocked that they all hid in the cabin. The corrosive power of the many-banded kite's venom was so strong that it slowly corroded the outer shell of the warship. Takano drove the yacht alone and rushed over. He looked at the huge Black Tortoise in front of him with a solemn expression. Monster, watch my sword. A roar shook the heavens and the earth. Takano suddenly exerted force on his feet. The yacht stopped moving on the sea. He turned into a black shadow and leaped hundreds of meters into the air. He was level with the many-banded kite's head. The short sword in his hand slashed down quickly. Sword chi filled the sky. Bang! 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 The sword chi landed on the many-banded kite's body. The sword chi of Japan's #1 ninja was so strong that it pierced through the hard scales of the many-banded kite, pierced through the skin and flesh inside. Blood flowed like a river. The many-banded kite screamed in pain. Its body had already burrowed back into the sea. The surrounding sea was dyed red. It was extremely dazzling under the sunlight. Roar! The sea turtle was enraged. It raised its head and roared. The tsunami roar soared into the sky, creating waves that were tens of feet high. Takano's expression changed. He quickly retreated to a warship. The waves hit the warship. The huge impact was like a row of trains crashing into it. The warship sank to the bottom of the sea. Boom! Another loud sound came from the waves. Takano flew out like a dragon. He waved the short sword in his hand again and slashed at the sea turtle's shell. Bang! 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 The sea turtle's shell was extremely hard. It blocked Takano's sword chi. The sound of metal clashing could be heard. The sword chi landed on the sea turtle's shell. It was as if it had hit hard steel. Takano lived up to his name as Japan's #1 ninja. He forced the many-banded kite to not dare to show itself again. The tsunami roar of the Black Tortoise could not hurt him. Seeing that the Black Tortoise's attack was suppressed, General Zeding was overjoyed. He quickly ordered the Japanese warships to advance at full speed. He planned to lead the Japanese soldiers to jump onto the Chinese warships and occupy the ships. More than 20 warships sped all the way. Soon they arrived at the Chinese warships. Many soldiers had already taken out ropes and accurately tied them around the Chinese warships. Then they climbed up the ropes. "Ha ha! Japanese ants! Let us kill to our heart's content today." When the first batch of soldiers boarded the warships, they heard a burst of laughter. A few strong men emerged from each of China's 10 warships. These people had strong auras, and they were the elites of China's 5 tigers and dragon sect. "Baka! Do you think you can resist with just the few of you? Put your hands on your head and squat down. Otherwise, we'll shoot." The Japanese soldiers did not care about these people. All of them loaded their guns and aimed at the 5 tigers and dragon sect members. These guns were very threatening in the eyes of ordinary soldiers. But to the 5 tigers and dragon sect elites, they were nothing. Suddenly, an angry roar came from one of the warships. The leader of the 5 tigers, Southeast Tiger Yuan Fu, punched out. His aura was like a ferocious tiger coming down the mountain. There were explosions in the air, and the wind from his fist formed a huge ferocious tiger. Boom! With a punch, the dozen soldiers who had just boarded the warships fell into the sea. The soldiers who followed behind were shocked and immediately opened fire. The commotion here had completely triggered the battle. The members of the other warships also launched their attacks. In minutes, hundreds of Japanese soldiers were shot down into the sea. Ta, ta, ta. Chapter 1274. This is bad. We've been tricked. Retreat. The armed soldiers were beaten to a pulp. They turned around and ran back to their battleships. The 5 tigers of China and the elites of Dragon Sect were powerful. How could they let these Japanese soldiers go? Fists and swords flashed and people fell into the sea. "General Zitang, we've been tricked. There is no one on the Chinese battleship. There are only some elites from the mysterious organization on board." The officer reported the situation. General Zitang was exasperated. "Tonokuin is here. We can't retreat anymore. So what if they are from the mysterious organization? Those people will die too. Fire the cannons and blast the ship. Shoot those bastards into the sea." General Zitang wanted to take over the ship. Now that his plan had failed, he decided to destroy the Chinese battleship. The soldiers who had boarded the Chinese battleship were abandoned. The cannons of the 20 battleships were opened. Cannon fire filled the sky, stirring up huge waves on the sea. Damn it! These Japanese bastards are really daring. They are going to fight to the death. Yuan Fu and the others were enjoying themselves when they suddenly felt the battleship being hit. The cabin shook violently. However, they were not worried. After they calmed down, Yuan Fu sneered. "Our mission has been completed. Now it's up to Qin Feng. With him here, none of them can escape." At the mention of Qin Feng, all the martial arts experts from China were in awe. At this moment, 2 balls of fire flashed on the sea. A white silhouette stepped on the flames, holding a red spear. It was as if the 3rd prince of Neza had arrived. "What is that? Is there someone in the sky? Fuck! It's Qin Feng from China. He's not dead. Retreat! Retreat now. Qin Feng from China is coming." As soon as Qin Feng appeared, the entire Japanese nation was terrified. The soldiers on the 20 battleships were so scared that they covered their heads and fled. Some even chose to jump into the sea. They might be able to survive. General Zitang was also panicking. He ignored Tonokuin's orders and immediately asked the captain to retreat. Tonokuin was fighting the black tortoise on the sea. When he heard the shouts around him, he looked up into the sky. His eyes were filled with panic. Qin Feng was really not dead? "Baka! Choya! How dare you betray my great empire? I'll kill you with my own hands." Tonokuin was so angry that his eyes widened. The long sword in his hand swung down violently. He wished he could cleave the black tortoise into 2 halves. Qin Feng continuously flickered in the sky as he casually brandished the spear of rat halos in his hand. Instantly, a sea of fire rained down from the sky, igniting a large area of the sea. The Japanese battleship turned back, and the soldiers panicked and lost all their fighting spirit. Yuan Fu led the Chinese battleship and chased after them, annihilating many Japanese soldiers. Black Tortoise didn't want to fight Tyrannokuin head-on. He dove into the sea and chased after the escaping Japanese warship. Only Qin Feng and Tyrannokuin were left in the middle of the sea. Qin Feng stood on the whirlwind golden wheel and floated in the air. Takano-kuin's aura surged under his feet, so he wouldn't sink even if he stepped on the sea. You dare to play tricks? The Huaxia people are truly shameless. Lord Takano glared at the sky, his lungs about to explode. There was no joy or sorrow in Qin Feng's eyes. His voice was indifferent. Could it be that you didn't cheat? You can only blame yourselves for falling into my trap. Why do you have to come up with all these excuses? This was Qin Feng's plan. He wanted Shoya to go back and lie about his death so that Japan would launch an attack on him. Although the Black Tortoise was powerful, he was the overlord of the sea. Since the Japanese battleships didn't dare to enter the sea, the Black Tortoise couldn't do anything to them. That way, all the Japanese battleships that were stationed on the island would be dispatched. Qin Feng would seize this opportunity to capture them all. Humph! You should know that all conspiracies are useless in the face of absolute power. Tyrannokuin gritted his teeth, and his aura surged. Qin Feng had guessed that Miyagawa would leave Tyrannokuin on the island, so he brought the 5 tigers of Huaxia to attack the island. As for the base of Huaxia, with the 9 dragons of Huaxia and the dragon god there, Qin Feng left the Golden Lion King behind to guard the base. Even if the shinobi from Japan were to attack the base, they would be killed in vain. Qin Feng had everything planned out. He was the one who would win this battle. However, he hovered in the air with a serious look on his face. According to the dragon god, Tyrannokuin was Japan's #1 swordsman. He was also Kudo Kitagawa's master. How powerful was this man? Qin Feng had no idea. Cut the crap. Watch my spear. Qin Feng didn't waste any more time. He waved his hand and the spear of rat halos in his hand dropped down. Dozens of fireballs flew towards Tyrannokuin. Tyrannokuin suddenly sprinted on the sea like a swallow. The fireballs missed and hung on the surface of the sea. They were like lanterns burning on the surface of the sea. Qin Feng's figure flickered and chased after Tyrannokuin. He waved his hand and the spear of rat halos turned into a golden phoenix. It slashed down with a 100-meter-long golden blade. Rumble! The sea was split into 2, and the seawater filled up the gap like a waterfall. Tyrannokuin disappeared from the sea, playing with his concealment skills. Roar, roar! In the distance, the Black Tortoise's roar shook the heavens. The waves it set off overturned the Japanese battleships. Yuan Fu and the others jumped onto the battleships. A fierce battle had just begun. Qin Feng and Tyrannokuin didn't have time to care about the situation there. Qin Feng hovered above the sea and observed the sea with his dark eyes. There was a loud explosion behind him. Tyrannokuin, who had disappeared, was like a dragon emerging from the sea. He leaped behind Qin Feng and swung the short sword in his hand like a gust of wind. The sword was so fast that Qin Feng didn't even have a chance to react. His back exploded and he was sent flying dozens of meters away. Tyrannokuin didn't hold back. He stepped on the sea and swung the short sword again. Several gusts of wind fell on the sea like bombs. Rumble! The sea kept exploding. Qin Feng stepped on the whirlwind golden wheel and dodged quickly. He couldn't catch his breath after that attack. He couldn't launch a counterattack for a while. Buzz! Suddenly, a strange energy fluctuation came from the sea. 5 black mists appeared out of thin air. The 5 kings of Verdant Sect had activated their golden ghost head talismans. Tyrannokuin stopped chasing Qin Feng and swung his sword at the 5 black mists. Baka! Who the hell are you? Break it! As soon as the 5 kings appeared, a strong evil energy swept across the sea. It was Tyrannokuin's first time encountering this kind of thing. His face was very serious. However, when he chopped down with his sword, he discovered that the 2 balls of black fog had been destroyed, and he felt relieved. So it was just a little trick to deceive people. Brat, do you have no more cards up your sleeve? Are you trying to disgust me with this junk? Tyrannokuin swung his sword 3 times and the 5 kings of Verdant Sect disappeared. Their original strength was only at stage 3 true chi. After refining the Golden Ghost Head Talisman, their strength dropped even more. They were barely at stage 2 true chi. However, Tyrannokuin's strength was comparable to a peak stage 4 true chi expert. The Golden Ghost Head Talisman lost its effect in front of him. Qin Feng didn't plan to use the talisman to defeat Tyrannokuin. He just wanted to stall him for a while to catch his breath. Qin Feng grabbed a few bottles of healing medicine and swallowed them. The chaotic aura in his body gradually calmed down. He stepped on the golden whirlwind wheel and swung his sword again. Boom! The golden phoenix's power seemed to be able to split the sky and earth. It split the sea in half in an instant. The 100-meter-long sword energy was like a golden dragon swimming on the sea. The powerful sword energy didn't fade away even after a long time. Tyrannokuin didn't dare to take Qin Feng's attack head-on. He flew on the sea and dove into the sea, looking for an opportunity to attack Qin Feng again. Damn it, they are indeed Japanese ninjas. They are like cowards. Qin Feng cursed in his heart. Then he heard Little Pig's voice. Master, you can buy a sea explorer. It can clearly see the situation in the sea. With a thought, Qin Feng found the sea explorer in the inventory of the system. This gadget was similar to the night vision device and the thermal sensor. It was a technological product of the same type, but it wasn't expensive and could be bought for 2,000 Supreme points. Qin Feng had earned a few million Supreme points after he devoured the Supreme Mecha system and found out the Martial Art Alliance's secret plan. After repaying the 1 million Supreme points he borrowed from the system, he still had a balance of 1,449,000 Supreme points. He planned to save up 2 million Supreme points to open the Immortal Island hidden in the system. The Sea Explorer was like a pair of VR glasses. Qin Feng put it on his head and looked at the sea. He could see everything in the sea at a glance. It was as clear as looking at the sky. Qin Feng waved his hand and a fiery red cannon appeared on his shoulder. The fire cloud cannon was engraved with the image of a dragon. The mouth of the dragon was the cannon. Boom! The cannon moved and aimed at Tyrannokuin, who was hiding at the bottom of the sea. A fiery red cannonball flew into the sea, exploding into huge waves, as if a tsunami had occurred. Lord Takano's expression changed dramatically. He was startled by the fire cloud cannonball. He moved like a fish under the sea and quickly swam towards the surface, jumping out of the seabed. Swoosh! As soon as Tyrannokuin's head appeared, a 100-meter-long golden saber chi fell and exploded on the surface of the sea. Tyrannokuin was suspended in the air and couldn't change his direction. He was hit by the exploding saber chi and flew into the sea 100 meters away. Qin Feng stepped on the golden whirlwind wheel and arrived at Tyrannokuin's position in the blink of an eye. He looked at the bottom of the sea with the help of the Sea Explorer and confirmed Tyrannokuin's position. Boom! Another fire cloud cannon sank to the bottom of the sea, causing the sea to boil. Tyrannokuin was enraged. He quickly flew out of the sea and slashed his sword in the air, forcing Qin Feng to retreat. The loud noises on the sea did not stop and the waves were undulating. Tyrannokuin didn't dare to dive into the sea anymore. His martial arts attire was torn and his hair was wet and stuck to the top of his head. He was in a sorry state. Brat, you forced me to do this. I want you to regret offending Japan and me. Chapter 1275. Qin Feng's expression changed drastically. He put away the fire cloud cannon on his shoulder and stood on the golden tornado wheel with the golden phoenix broadsword in his hand. Qin Feng had heard about Tyrannokuin's power from the divine dragon. He also realized that Tyrannokuin did not use his full strength when they fought 3 days ago. It seemed like Tyrannokuin was completely infuriated and was about to make his move. You ant from China. I'll show you the true power of a Japanese ninja. Intense explosions erupted from Tyrannokuin's body and did not stop for a long time. The aura on his body skyrocketed several times, and his figure looked incomparably tall, as dignified as the statues in the Japanese shrine. With an earth-shattering roar, Tai Yijun waved his dagger in the air. Suddenly, hundreds and thousands of white sword chi were condensed. These sword chi were not sharp. Instead, they were like strands of spider silk that flew towards Qin Feng. What the hell? Qin Feng's expression turned serious. He waved his hand and the golden phoenix broadsword descended, bringing with it 100-meter-long golden sword chi. Right now, Qin Fun's saber was so powerful that it seemed like it could split the heavens and split the earth. However, when the saber chi landed on the cobwebs, it completely lost its effect. It was like nostalgia that couldn't be severed, and it was chaotic. Haha! Do you think you can defeat me with your brute strength? Collect. Takano Jun threw his head back and laughed maniacally. His skinny palms suddenly clasped together, and the hundreds and thousands of spiderweb-like sword chi in the air instantly converged and trapped Qin Feng like silk. The web was dense and contained a powerful force. Qin Feng tried his best, but he could not break free from the sword chi. What kind of sword technique is this? Qin Feng frowned. He finally knew how powerful Tadokuin was. He was indeed the #1 swordsman in Japan. Tadokuin's face lit up when he saw that Qin Feng was trapped. He continued to exert strength in his hands and the sword chi seemed to be under his control. It was as if he was going to cut Qin Feng into pieces. This is the swordsmanship I learned on Mount Fuji in the Great Empire. The sword chi can be formed into threads and they can stretch endlessly. Every winter, I sit naked on the snow mountain of Mount Fuji and use the sword chi to condense thousands of sword nets that look like ice silk. With a wave of the sword, all the fish and shrimps in the glacier river will be caught by me. With my continuous training, these sword nets can bear the weight of millions of kilograms. How can you resist them? Taiyi Jun's sword Dao was indeed unique. Qin Feng wondered if Shimen Chue Shui's sword Dao could contend against it. However, Shimen Chue Shui's cultivation level was too low. No matter how powerful his swordsmanship was, he was no match for Lord Ta Ye's strike. The net of swords on his body became tighter and tighter, almost tearing Qin Feng's clothes. If he hadn't been using the true qi in his body to resist, his body would have been cut into pieces by the thousands of swords. You want to trap me with a mere sword net? What a joke! The sound of an explosion suddenly spread out from Qin Feng's body. In an instant, he was turned into a man of fire, and his body was ablaze with raging flames. The power of the fire of destruction seemed to be able to devour everything. The surrounding temperature instantly soared, and the sword net that wrapped around his body was like an ice cream that had come into contact with fire, instantly turning into water vapor and dissipating. Rumble! As soon as he broke free from the shackles, Qin Feng swung his saber without hesitation. Taiyi Jun's expression changed drastically. He never thought that Qin Feng could use such a strange skill. Even if he was a fire attribute demon cultivator, he couldn't possibly be covered in flames, right? Moreover, Taiyi Jun's chi was so powerful that the sword net he had unleashed was extremely hard. How could an ordinary demon cultivator's fire destroy it? Sword net, condense. After regaining his composure, Taiyi Jun thrust his sword forward. In the blink of an eye, a dense sword net was condensed in midair. Every sword chi was as delicate as a spider's web and contained a violent chi. When Qin Feng's golden saber chi landed on the sword net, it was as if it had sunk into the bottom of the sea, and there was no more movement. Go! Taiyi Jun waved his hand, and the sword net suddenly dispersed into thousands of sword chi. Every sword chi carried the power to break the sky, and the sky was filled with ear-piercing sounds of wind breaking. Qin Feng dared not to underestimate the attack of the sword net. He quickly stepped on the golden tornado wheel and dodged the attack. 2 balls of fire flickered in the sky, but there were too many sword chi. How could he dodge all of them? In a rage, Qin Feng took out the spear of rat halos and spun it. The spear was ablaze, and it looked like a flaming wheel dancing in the sky. Bang, bang, bang. The sword chi turned into threads and melted when they came into contact with the destructive fire. However, every sword chi contained a powerful force. The moment they collided with the spear of rat halos, a series of loud noises rang out, and the violent airflow forced Qin Feng to retreat. Haha! Let's see how you're going to fight me. Taiyi Jun sneered. He swung his short sword again, and another thousands of sword chi formed a net. This time it trapped Qin Feng's legs. The spear of rat halos in his hand was still spinning rapidly, blocking the sword chi that was flying towards him. However, he was unable to move and could only allow the violent aura in the sword chi to explode around him. Soon, Qin Feng's white robe was blown to pieces. Seeing that Qin Feng was injured, Takano Jun leaped forward like a meteor streaking across the sky. In a few breaths, he arrived in front of Qin Feng. Tai Jun sneered. The short sword in his hand pierced through the air. This time, it formed a small sword chi. It was about 3 meters long, and it moved with the power of heaven and earth. Pierced towards Qin Feng's chest. Screech! At this critical moment, the angry cry of a bird pierced through the sky. Qin Feng's body was engulfed in flames, and the net of sword chi around his legs was burned. The flaming golden eagle spread its wings, and flames fell like rain. Qin Feng leaped onto the back of the flaming golden eagle and sprinted in the sky. Rumble! A loud sound came from the sea, and the fireball crashed into the sea, creating waves. Tai Jun's sword missed, and he hurriedly ran on the sea. His speed was extremely fast, and he created 2 waves that were several meters high behind him. Qin Feng, who was on the back of the flaming golden eagle, put on the blood demon armor and held the heavenly hawk bow in his hand. He pulled the bow, and dozens of purple hawks swooped down, chasing after Tai Jun along the sea. Qin Feng waved his hand, and the heavenly hawk bow became the spear of rat halos. The long spear pierced through the air, and hundreds of fireballs came crashing down, as if they were going to set the sea on fire. Bang, 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 bang. For a moment, the sea was filled with the sound of a tsunami. Tai Jun's body was hit several times, and his black ninja uniform had long been burned away. He ran on the sea naked, as if he was naked. Ayayaya! Chinese boy, you've completely pissed me off. I'm gonna cut you into 1,000 pieces, and then throw you into the sea to feed the fishes. An earth-shattering roar exploded on the surface of the sea. Tonokuin suddenly stood on the surface of the sea, and the dagger in his hand pierced upwards. The vast sea suddenly shook, and the surging momentum was comparable to the movement of the black tortoise when it first appeared. Rumble! Waves rose from all directions, and a sword net rose from the sea. This sword net was denser and more ferocious than Tai Jun's previous attack. The net was made of sword chi, but it was airtight and contained a large amount of seawater. It flew towards Qin Feng and the fireballs. Whoosh! The seawater soared into the sky like a dragon, and immediately collided with the flames. The 2 extreme substances had a physical and chemical reaction, and the air was filled with billowing steam. It was as if they had entered the misty mountain villa. The flaming golden eagle was hit by the waves, and the powerful force hidden in the seawater sent it flying. It wailed in pain in the air. Qin Feng was furious, and his eyes spat out thick flames. With a thought, the flaming golden eagle was recalled back into the system. 2 fireballs leaped across the sea, and as soon as they reached Tai Jun's head, a sword came crashing down. Heaven burning blaze. Rumble. It was as if a hole had been blasted in the sky. Qin Feng used to use this skill with the blue-grade Sky Splitter axe. Now that he had switched to the Golden Phoenix sword, the power of the heaven-burning blaze was more than 10 times stronger. Dozens of fire phoenixes descended from the sky. They were fire phoenixes formed by the fire of destruction. Half of the sky was set ablaze, and it was as if Qin Feng's anger was endless. The temperature soared, and the seawater evaporated at a speed visible to the naked eye. Tai Jun ran on the sea naked, and his skin began to emit smoke. He looked like a chicken that was about to be roasted. The sea surged again, and Tai hastily waved his sword. The sword chi formed an impenetrable net, and it soared into the sky with half of the river water, and collided with the fire of destruction. The sound of the explosion was incessant, and the sky was filled with fog. The visibility was less than half a meter, and even the battleships in the distance were affected. Yuan Fu and the Japanese soldiers were shocked. When they turned to look at Qin Feng's battle, they forgot about their own attacks. Brat, as a shinobi of Japan, I've received the strictest training, and this kind of special training is common. Let's see how you're going to. The sky was filled with fog, and Tai was overjoyed. In the thick fog, it was difficult to see a person clearly, let alone fight. But Tai Yi was not afraid. He had his own unique attack method. But before he could finish his sentence, he heard a thunderous roar and a tiger's roar behind him. His body was hit by the gust of wind, and he was sent flying into the sea. Qin Feng stood on the surface of the sea where Takano Kuin had been sent flying. He wore a pair of strange glasses on his face. This was the smoke glasses he had just purchased from the system. Despite the thick fog, Qin Feng's vision was clear. After sending Tai Yi flying with the special Thunder Tiger Fist, Qin Feng looked at the sea. He waved his hand, and a fiery red cannon rested on his shoulder. He aimed at the bottom of the sea and fired. Boom! The fire dragon cannon was so powerful that it blasted a hole in the sea. Although Tai Yi was as agile as a fish in the sea, he was not faster than the cannon. As soon as he emerged from the water, he was sent flying into the sky by the explosion. Swoosh! 2 balls of fire danced in the fog like a lighthouse on the sea in the middle of the night. In a few breaths, Qin Feng had arrived above Takano Kuin's head and raised the golden phoenix high above his head. Takano Kuin's face turned pale with fright. Qin Feng, don't kill. Boom! Before Tai Yi could finish his words, a loud explosion exploded on his body. The golden blade was so powerful that it directly split the dense fog into 2. Chapter 1276. Tegokuin's body exploded on the surface of the sea. Blood and flesh splattered across the sea and were carried away by the wind. The Japan's #1 godly ninja, who had made a name for himself over 20 years ago and defeated the elites of various countries, had fallen. At the same time, Kuromkuin led Chiyoya and the rest into the Huaxia base on the opposite shore. This time, there were 4 Japanese godly ninjas and more than 50 elite ninjas. Some of them were heavenly ninjas and most of them were earthly ninjas. The Huaxia base was vulnerable against such a powerful team. However, just as they reached the shore, they heard a shout behind them, "Dragon God Senpai! The enemy is here!" The voice came from the Japanese ninjas and shocked Kuromkuin and his men. As ninjas, they had been trained in assassination techniques since young. Their plan to sneak into the Huaxia base was to assassinate. Initially, everything was going smoothly. However, there was a traitor in their team. "Chiyoya? It's you." Kuromkuin glared at Chiyoya. Chiyoya leaped into the air and landed in front of a tent. Her beautiful face was covered with frost. She glared at Kuromkuin and said, "Kuromkuin, how dare you violate my body? I'll kill you with my own hands." A few days ago, Kuromkuin called Chiyoya to his room and tried to force himself on her. At that time, Chiyoya only felt disgusted, but she did not want to kill him. However, now that she had become Qin Feng's woman, Chiyoya wished that she could kill Kuromkuin on the spot. This is bad. The Chinese battleships are attacking the island. Yi Meihui looked at the sea behind her when she saw Chiyoya's betrayal. The fog on the sea had mostly dissipated. The Chinese battleships were attacking ferociously and they had reached the shore of the island. Thrice Man's expression was grave. He shouted, "Shit! We've been tricked. Chiyoya has surrendered to China. She and Qin Fen have tricked us. Baka! Chiyoya, do you really think China can win? With Tegokuin on the island, all the Chinese soldiers will die. Also, this Huaxia base is guarded by a bunch of trash. Our original plan was to assassinate them. Since that's the case, let's kill them all." Kuromkuin's words calmed everyone down. In the eyes of these ninjas, China's dragon sect was nothing. However, at this moment, dozens of figures flew over. They were China's 9 dragons and some dragon sect elites led by the divine dragon. Chiyoya hurriedly ran into the crowd, looked at the divine dragon, and said, "Senior divine dragon, where's Lord Qin Feng Jun?" Initially, Divine Dragon and Yen Wu Shuang didn't believe Chiyoya's words, but now they treated her as one of their own. Chiyoya looked at Divine Dragon and Yen Wu Shuang meaningfully and said, "Qin Feng has gone to deal with Lord Tai Yi. We just need to focus on guarding the base." Chiyoya was well aware of Tonokuin's strength. She could not help but look at the sea with a worried expression. However, at this moment, Black-Eyed Demon raised his heavenly slash and slashed at her. You bitch, you'd rather surrender to China and be fucked by Qin Feng than let me play with you. I'll kill you first. Black-Eye Chi's face was ferocious. This blade suddenly condensed in the void. This blade was dozens of meters long. The surrounding wind suddenly rose. The Chinese 9 dragons' expressions changed dramatically. They all retreated. The dragon god reminded everyone and pulled Xiaoya, who was still in a daze, to the side. Rumble. The blade chi landed on the ground and split a deep gash. A few dragon sect elites could not dodge in time and were smashed into pieces by the explosion. The dragon sect members were enraged. Divine Dragon took the lead and leaped into the air. The heaven cloud flying sword turned into a rainbow and went into the midst of the Japanese ninjas. The ninjas screamed in pain. Wherever the pink light flashed, a ninja would die. Black-Eyed Demon and the others were shocked. They immediately ordered everyone to disperse. The battle between the two sides started, and it was extremely intense at the beginning. After Divine Dragon killed 6 earthly ninjas in a row, he stabbed at the sky and went after Black-Eyed Kuan. Baka! All of you Huaxia ants! Die! Die! Thrice Man came back to his senses and slashed at the void with his dual blade slash. A rainbow of sword chi soared into the sky and blew up a few rows of tents in China's base. The Chinese elites hiding in the surroundings were all exposed. They simply brandished their weapons and rushed forward. There were also many soldiers who fired their guns and killed a few Japanese ninjas in the chaos. Yi Meihui also moved. She was like a swallow that could move agilely in the rain of bullets. In a few breaths, she arrived in front of the row of gunners. With a wave of her hand, the flexible sword on her waist swung out and pierced through the row of soldiers. Bastard! Let this old lady fight you. Seeing this scene, Lu Bingbing was furious. She waved her long sword and rushed over. Yan Wu Shuang's expression changed drastically. Worried about Lu Bingbing's strength, she quickly followed. The sword chi surged and the battle was extremely intense. Lu Bingbing and Yan Wu Shuang were no match for Yi Meihui even if they joined hands. When the flexible sword was about to pierce through Lu Bingbing's heart, another beautiful figure flashed by. Qiaoya forced Yi Meihui to retreat with her blade. On the other side, Thrice Man was surrounded by the 9 dragons of China. These people were all experts at the peak of stage 9 inner chi. However, in front of Thrice Man, who was comparable to stage 3 true chi, they still couldn't resist. Black-Eye Lord was fighting with Dragon God. Dragon God had broken through to stage 2 true chi. With the help of various spiritual weapons and cultivation methods, he was barely able to resist Black-Eye Lord's power. Bang bang bang! Loud noises kept coming from the battle. After Thrice Man slapped away the Black Dragon and White Phoenix, he looked up to the sky and laughed. Ha ha! Is this the strength of a Chinese martial arts expert? They're really too trashy. Yi Meihui also had a disdainful look on her face. She had completely suppressed the joint attack of Qiaoya and the other 2 women and was about to kill them. However, at this moment, an angry roar came from the distant mountain peak. The sound was like a muffled thunder, shaking everyone's mind. Japanese ants, Golden Fur Lion King is here. Let's see who dares to behave atrociously with me. Golden Fur Lion King had a head of golden curly hair and held the Dragon Slayer saber in his hand. He stood on the mountain peak thousands of meters away, but everyone stopped and looked at him. Black-Eye Lord's eyes carried a trace of disdain as he roared, "Lion head, don't stand there and play tricks. Come here if you have the guts. Grandpa can hack you to death with one slash." As soon as Black-Eye Lord's arrogant words fell, the figure on the mountain peak disappeared in a flash. A fierce wind suddenly blew in the surroundings. After a few breaths, a black shadow appeared on top of Black-Eye Lord's head. A dazzling golden long saber slashed down from the sky. Golden Fur Lion King's angry roar was heard. "Grandpa is here! Go to hell!" A condensed saber aura surged over. Black-Eye Lord seemed to be frozen in place. He stood on the spot and looked at the falling golden light with fear in his eyes. This saber was so powerful that Black-Eye Lord felt the pressure from standing in front of Qin Feng. He was incomparably shocked. Who is this curly-haired old man? When did China have such a powerful expert? Rumble. A loud sound shook the heavens. The saber landed solidly on Black Eye Lord's head. A crack appeared between his eyebrows, but in the blink of an eye, his entire body exploded into flesh and blood. Everyone was shocked. No matter if it was the Japanese ninjas or the members of China's dragon sect, they were all shocked by Golden Fur Lion King's strength. Sanjiro was stunned on the ground and forgot to attack. Yimei Hui's pair of beautiful eyes widened and her jaw dropped to the ground. A mere island country dares to behave atrociously in my China? Die! Golden Fur Lion King's appearance was majestic and domineering. The aura of level 4 true chi suppressed everyone to the point that they couldn't breathe. Just as his saber slashed down on Black Eye Lord, he leaped up and raised his saber. Sanjiro didn't even have the time to react and was directly smashed into pieces by the saber aura. The remaining Yimei Hui and the rest of the Japanese ninjas were dumbstruck. Suddenly, someone knelt on the ground and crazily kowtowed to Golden Fur Lion King and begged for mercy. Lord, please spare me. I'm willing to surrender. With someone taking the lead, many Japanese ninjas also surrendered. Yimei Hui was so angry that she gnashed her teeth. As a Japanese shinobi, she had undergone extremely strict special training and indoctrination. Even if she had to commit suicide, she wouldn't surrender. You bunch of scum, you're simply a disgrace to the Japanese ninjas. Go to hell. Without needing Golden Fur Lion King to attack again, Yimei Hui swept her soft sword and the dozen or so ninjas who were kneeling on the ground immediately exploded. The remaining 20 or so people originally had the intention to surrender, but at this moment, they immediately dispelled this idea. Under Golden Fur Lion King's might, the remaining people couldn't withstand a single blow. Golden Fur Lion King was merciless. With a few slashes of his saber, all the ninjas who came to attack were killed. The members of Dragon Sect could not recover for a long time. They were shocked by Golden Fur Lion King's strength. Only Dragon God knew where Golden Fur Lion King came from. As for the others, they were full of suspicion. When did China have such a strong person? Between this person and Qin Feng, who was more powerful? The battle on China's base had stopped. Could be said that they had won a complete victory. After Qin Feng killed Ta Yijun, he put away Ta Yijun's Gale Godly Sword, stepped on the sea and flew towards the island. The Japanese warships were also defeated by Black Tortoise and sank to the bottom of the sea. A group of soldiers hid on the shore. Master Miyagawa was trembling in fear. He kept searching for Tanokuin on the sea with his binoculars, but he couldn't even see a shadow. Are you looking for me? 2 balls of flame flashed past, and Qin Feng had already landed behind Master Miyagawa, but he didn't notice him at all. Ah, you are Qin Feng? Miyagawa turned around and was so shocked that he dropped the binoculars in his hands. Yes, it's me. Are you the commander-in-chief of this island battle? Qin Feng looked at Miyagawa with a smile. His smile was as frightening as a demon from hell. The 2 guards behind Miyagawa quickly opened fire. However, before the bullets could be fired, 2 white lights flashed past, and the guards' necks were split open. They were already dead. Miyagawa was so scared that he took a few steps back. He shouted while trembling, Don't come near me. I have a godly ninja in Japan, especially the number 1 godly ninja, Tanokuin. He's very powerful. If you dare to hurt even a strand of my hair, Tanokuin. Chapter 1277. Looking at Gale in Qin Feng's hand, Master Miyagawa's eyes almost dropped to the ground. Japanese godly ninjas had a godly blade in their hands. As the saying went, where the sword is, the ninja lives. Where the sword falls, the ninja dies. Now that Tanokuin had lost his godly blade, it was obvious that he was dead. After confirming Tanokuin's death, Miyagawa's legs turned to jelly and he fell to the ground. Tanokuin was the spiritual pillar of this island battle. Now that he was dead, Master Miyagawa was in complete despair. China's Qin Feng, don't kill me. I'm willing to retreat with my men. Knowing that the situation was hopeless, Miyagawa knelt before Qin Feng like a stray dog. Qin Feng was a decisive person. How could he let these invaders go? Moreover, Miyagawa was not completely convinced. He was only begging for mercy because he had no other way out. Let you go? Do you think that's possible? Before Qin Feng could speak, a furious roar was heard. Yuan Fu and the 5 tigers had already come ashore. Miyagawa looked towards the shore, his eyes filled with fear and disbelief. The Japanese warships were destroyed. The soldiers either jumped into the sea or were killed. The giant black tortoise was leaning against the shore. It looked as if it could destroy the island with a single burp. Sirs of China, you can't kill me? Seeing that they had lost this island battle, Miyagawa lost all his confidence. He kowtowed to the 5 tigers and Qin Feng. Everyone looked at him with disdain. Miyagawa was a high-ranking official of Japan. How could he be so spineless? He was a disgrace to Japan. Cut the crap. This is the consequence of daring to invade our Huaxia land. Yuan Fu guarded the border and killed countless invaders with his spear. He waved his hand and a silver spear pierced towards Miyagawa. Miyagawa broke out in cold sweat. He quickly shouted, "It's useless even if you kill me. This island is rich in resources and is located at the sea transportation hub. Why is it that only our empire is interested in this place? Actually, all the other countries have their eyes on this place. Japan is just a chess piece. They are waiting to reap the benefits." Yuan Fu's expression changed. With the spear in his hand hovering in front of Miyagawa's throat, he asked coldly, "Which other countries are interested in this place?" At this point, Miyagawa had no way out. He said whatever was on his mind. There are many countries, such as the United States, England, Germany, Russia, but the most important thing is still the United States. The higher-ups of Japan are just pawns in their hands. They want to use our hands to take down the island. Miyagawa's words caused everyone's expression to turn serious. They had thought that the island battle would be over after they defeated the Japanese troops. Who would have thought that Japan was just a puppet of the US? Brother Yuan Fu, we have to report this to the Dragon Sect immediately and let the higher-ups of the country come up with a plan. One of the 5 tigers of China had a grave expression. Yuan Fu also frowned. He looked at Qin Feng and asked, "Qin Feng, what do we do now?" In today's world, the United States was the most powerful country. Their air, sea, and land forces were the strongest. Although China had defeated Japan, if they were to fight with the United States, it would be a tough battle. Everyone looked worried, and Miyagawa's mood calmed down. He could tell that the Chinese were afraid of the Americans, and he thought that his life was saved. Unexpectedly, there was a flash of white light. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Gong Chuan's head flew off and blood splattered on the ground. "Humph! What is there to be afraid of? This is an island and they want to fight on the sea. Our country has the great black tortoise. What is there to be afraid of? If they want to play with mystical powers, I can find some people and beat them to a pulp. Moreover, the mystical powers of the United States are the werewolves and the blood descendants. I have friends there." The 5 tigers of China were afraid of the United States' strength. But Qin Feng's expression did not change at all. Yuan Fu and the others did not know what Qin Feng had done in the past year. He had cooperated with the blood descendant Prince Dracula to complete the mission of the William family's mutants and forged a deep friendship with Dracula. He also knew the strength of the blood descendant very well. Even if the United States sent the blood descendant, Qin Feng would not be afraid. "Qin Feng, why you really killed him? This time, we have completely become enemies with the United States." Yuan Fu recovered with great difficulty and looked at Qin Feng with a face full of worry. The rest of the 4 tigers looked extremely serious, and there was even a hint of blaming Qin Feng in the depths of their eyes. They knew that Qin Feng was very powerful, but he was young and frivolous. He did not care about the consequences when he did things. If he killed a high-ranking official of Japan, wouldn't that cause a crisis for the country? He's just an ant from Japan. So what if I kill him? Qin Feng was domineering. Yuan Fu secretly shook his head. In fact, he could not wait for Miyagawa to be killed. But if he did that, China would be dragged into a predicament. The enemy troops on the island were all wiped out. But at this moment, a roar came from afar. The 5 tigers of China's expression changed drastically. Yuan Fu looked into the sky and exclaimed, "Oh no! Those are the United States fighter jets." Miyagawa was right. Looks like the United States really has their eyes on the island. Everyone looked up at the dozens of fighter jets coming from the sky, and they became nervous. The 4 tigers of China and some dragon sect members looked at Qin Feng with some resentment, as if they were blaming Qin Feng for his rashness. Qin Feng did not care. He leaped and stepped on the golden whirlwind wheel. There seemed to be 2 balls of flame flickering in the sky. In the blink of an eye, they reached the group of fighter jets. "General Dirk, these Huaxia people are really reckless. If they really dare to kill Miyagawa, we must teach them a lesson." The soldiers in the fighter jets were having a conversation. "They're just Japan. They're just a pawn of the United States. They fought a fierce battle with China. Although they were completely wiped out, they also hurt China. We should take this opportunity to defeat the Huaxia army and take over the island." "General Dirk, I saw 2 balls of flame flying over." "What's that?" "Don't scare yourself. Focus on the battle." Rumble. While the few of them were having a heated conversation, a loud explosion sounded in the sky. The soldiers in the remaining fighter jets were shocked. General Dirk quickly shouted, "What's going on? How did Fighter Jet 12 crash?" "I don't know, General Dirk. It seems like there's an enemy attack." The American fighter jets were dumbfounded. They did not see anything, so how could there be an enemy attack? Could it be that Fighter Jet 12 caught fire and exploded? But these were the most advanced fighter jets of the United States. The probability of them bursting into flames was almost 0. Rumble. Just when everyone was confused, another explosion sounded. This time, 3 fighter jets crashed. "Oh no, there's an enemy attack. Everyone, retreat." Admiral Decker cried out in alarm. He finally realized that something was wrong. The soldiers in the remaining fighter jets were scared half to death. The pilots immediately turned around, but before they could escape, the fighter jets exploded one after another. Loud explosions sounded in the sky. The flames from the explosions seemed to set the sky on fire. Yuan Fu and the others stood on the island and watched with their mouths agape. Even they could not determine Qin Feng's location, but everyone knew that this was Qin Feng's doing. The wind whistled past their ears. Unknowingly, Qin Feng had landed on the ground. He stood at the spot where he was standing before as if he had never moved. "Qin Feng, you." Yuan Fu looked at the wreckage of the fighter jets scattered on the sea. He could not utter a complete sentence for a long time. The remaining 4 tigers and dragon sect members were shocked. They were once again shocked by Qin Feng's strength. "Uncle Fu, I've said that no one can invade China. It doesn't matter if it's Japan or the United States. I'll destroy as many as they come." Yuan Fu looked at Qin Feng and could not come back to his senses for a long time. In just a year and a half, Qin Feng had turned from a powerless hedonistic young master to the #1 martial artist in China. This leap and change was hard to accept. Looking at Qin Feng's unyielding strength and dominance, even Yuan Fu was impressed. "Good job, Qin Feng. I'm on your side now. Isn't it just the United States? Why should China be afraid?" Yuan Fu was also a man of character. He was influenced by Qin Feng and could not wait to pick up his gun and start a massacre. The remaining 4 tigers and dragon sect members were still afraid. That was the world's superpower, the United States. Their naval and air forces were the most powerful. If they really fought, how could China win? Qin Feng waited on the island for a while, but he did not see any more U.S. fighter jets. It seemed that the dozens of fighter jets that were destroyed were just there to do intelligence work or to monitor the Japanese forces. At this moment, 6 Chinese warships sailed over the sea. After the warships docked, Dragon God rushed up with a group of members. The battle on the island had been going on for more than a month, but everyone had been suppressed on the opposite side of the coast. Now that they were finally on the island, Dragon God and the others were extremely excited. "Qin Feng, are you all right?" Lu Bingbing and the other 2 girls rushed to Qin Feng's side as soon as they got ashore. Qiu Ye stood obediently at the side like a maid. Lu Bingbing and Yan Wu Shuang hugged Qin Feng's arms. Ever since the two girls went crazy together that night, they were no longer jealous of each other. We've won a great victory here. Don't worry, everyone. Now that the 6 ninjas of Japan have been killed, and the other forces have been eradicated, the island belongs to China after all. Qin Feng's words made everyone's blood boil. Everyone was shocked when they thought about how he killed the 6 ninjas of Japan alone. When Dragon God arrived, he saw the US fighter jets in the sky and asked, "Oh yeah, I saw you destroy dozens of fighter jets. What's going on? They don't look like Japan's fighter jets." Yuan Fu's expression turned serious. The 4 tigers of China looked at Qin Feng gloomily. Those are US fighter jets. Japan is just a chess piece this time. I guess it won't be long before the US launches an even stronger attack. Qin Feng didn't avoid the topic and analyzed the current situation. Dragon God and the others were shocked. They were talking about the US. Could China survive if they really fought? Qin Feng, you've gotten yourself into big trouble this time. The US is so powerful. You should have told me first. Even Dragon God was a little afraid. Qin Feng said indifferently, "Since I've made a move, I'm confident that I can defeat the US. Senior Dragon God, don't worry. I'll go get some friends to help." Chapter 1278. Lu Bingbing and Yan Wushuang were worried. They paced back and forth on the island, waiting for Qin Feng's news. The 5 tigers of China and the dragon sect gathered together. The 12 peak leaders were shocked when they heard the news. They had already gone to discuss the matter with the higher-ups of China. The crowd side, everyone was talking about the United States. Most people were not optimistic about the United States. Flying Tiger was one of the 5 tigers of China. He was even more depressed than the Black Dragon. He said, "I want to stop him, but can I stop him with my strength? Don't be too depressed. I believe Qin Feng can fight against the US." Yuan Fu comforted them when he saw their morale was low. Even he himself was not confident. Dongfang Mingwang was telling the truth. Everyone thought so too. However, they could only wait and see the US's attitude and the plans of the higher-ups of China. At this moment, the 12 peak leaders rushed back. Seemed like there was news from China. The divine dragon walked up to them quickly. The rest followed closely behind. Everyone was shocked by his words. The passion that had been hidden for a long time was ignited. Now that things had come to this, the dragon god's gaze sharpened. "Then let's get ready for battle. Remember, we are China's last line of defense. We must not be defeated." Everyone worked together with the determination to fight to the death. Needless to say, all the martial arts powerhouses looked to the sky. A row of fighter jets appeared and roared toward them. At this moment, Yuan Fu looked to the sea and shouted, "The US Navy is here too. Senior Divine Dragon, Yuan Fu requests to lead the 5 tigers of China to fight against the power of the sea." All the powerhouses received the order and rushed toward the battlefield. Boom! One of the fighter jets exploded and fell into the sea. The rest of the fighter jets aimed at the Divine Dragon. Bullets rained down on him. There were also tracking missiles aimed at the Divine Dragon. He could not fight back at all. The combat strength of both sides was not on the same level. The US fighter jets and warships were extremely advanced. They quickly repelled the Chinese soldiers. The Divine Dragon and the other martial arts powerhouses were also holding on. Although they were strong, they could not unleash their full potential in the face of such advanced high-tech weapons. "Senior Divine Dragon, we can't hold on any longer." The 12 upper peaks were old, but they had no choice but to face the enemy. As they fought, they roared, "Everyone hold on. We are the last line of defense of the island." The way this group of people appeared was incomparably shocking. All of them stepped on the sea. Who are those people? Nonsense, those are obviously our Huaxia people. Our Huaxia reinforcements have arrived. The people were stunned by the martial artists who rushed over. In fact, they even forgot that they were still in a fierce battle. At the front was a row of beauties led by Su Ruoro, Xiao Li, and 1,000 Illusion Child. As soon as they arrived, the three women shouted at the crowd on the shore. Is there a war here? It's been a long time since I've hit someone. I'm going to kill to my heart's content today. Brothers, kill. We've been training hard day and night, practicing martial arts to strengthen our bodies. Today, it finally comes in handy. Those who came were all experts from the big sects in the outer martial arts world. Qin Fun had asked Su Ruoro to bring them here through the Hero Alliance. Brothers, the reinforcements I've called for are here. Qin Fun's loud roar sounded like muffled thunder. There were many experts in the outer martial arts world. More than 100 people rushed over. The weakest among them was at the inner 80%, and there were even several experts in the true energy realm. Their combat power was even stronger than that of the 6 ninjas of Japan. The people in the outer martial arts world were all impatient. As soon as they arrived on the island, they joined the battle without saying anything. Huge waves surged on the sea. Qin Fun stepped on the black tortoise and left. Dozens of martial arts masters followed him on the sea. The American battleship could not withstand a single blow. Many martial arts masters stepped on the local battleship and killed all the soldiers inside in minutes. General Tom, the enemy's reinforcements are too strong. We can't hold them off. On one of the warships, General Tom, the commander-in-chief of this battle, was watching everything with binoculars. When he saw the experts of the outer martial arts world who had rushed over, he was also dumbfounded. General Tom gave the order, and the few warships and fighter planes left hurriedly. Dracula, who had become the mysterious leader of the American force, controlled all the forces of the Blood Kindred. He frowned and said, "Huaxia warriors? Who's their leader? Bastard, leave Huaxia quickly. You can't afford to offend Qin Fun, or you'll be buried alive." Putting aside the friendship between him and Qin Fun, no one in the entire United States was a match for Qin Fun in terms of strength. Even Dracula was ashamed of his inferiority. The American forces had all left. Tom stood far away and secretly took some pictures of the battle. When he sent them to the leader of the werewolf troop, the leader called in less than 10 minutes. Chapter 1279. Morrison had already hung up the phone. General Tom was still in a daze. He even suspected that there was something wrong with his ears. The United States actually wanted to retreat, stop fighting for the island? Why was that? In General Tom's eyes, the United States was invincible. Which country on earth would dare to fight with the United States for a mere island? Tom had never cared about Japan or China. However, the outcome was beyond his expectations. The United States finally retreated and left the island. There were also spies and intelligence agents from various countries lurking around the island. When everyone saw the defeat of Japan and the withdrawal of the American troops, they were all dumbfounded. The leaders of various countries were in an uproar. The leader of Japan was holding an emergency meeting. Those who were able to sit at the meeting table were all top figures in Japan's military and government. "Baka, I just received news that we lost the island battle. Miyagawa was killed and the 6 ninjas were killed. This is a disgrace to our empire." The Prime Minister of Japan sat on the high seat. He was fuming. The faces of the politicians in the 2 rows below were ice cold and filled with shock. Even now, they still couldn't believe this fact. "Prime Minister, we can't just let this go. I suggest we send reinforcements to suppress China's prestige," a cabinet official said. A representative from Yamaguchi-gumi was also present. "I agree with Tanaka-sama's suggestion. In this battle, Yamaguchi-gumi suffered heavy casualties. We must take back the island. Prime Minister, I request to lead the troops into battle." A military official stood up. All the officials and politicians present suggested attacking back. The Prime Minister suddenly shouted, "All of you, shut up, attack back." How? Now that the 6 ninjas have been killed, the ninja base has suffered a serious blow. Not long ago, China even forced the United States to retreat. Do you think we can defeat China? These officials usually did not care about the news on the island. When they heard that China had defeated the United States, the meeting room was in an uproar. "What? China defeated the United States? How is that possible? Prime Minister, is there a mistake in the information? The United States is the most powerful country in the world. It's over, it's over. If that's the case, wouldn't Huaxia become famous in this island battle? Everyone had different expressions on their faces. Most of them still did not believe the news. The Prime Minister's face was filled with helplessness. Finally, he sighed and said, "The intelligence is definitely correct. The forces of the other countries stationed near the island have quietly retreated. Now that even the United States has been defeated, no one would dare to challenge the dignity of Huaxia. This matter ends here. Meeting adjourned." The Prime Minister stood up and walked out of the house, his face filled with helplessness and solemnity. The rest of the high-ranking officials and politicians were still dumbfounded in their seats, unable to recover their senses for a long time. No matter how hard everyone racked their brains, they still couldn't understand. Japan had always been at the advantage in this battle of the islands, so how did China suddenly gain the upper hand? They even fought off the Americans? This was simply unimaginable. Japan wasn't the only country that was shocked by this news. Many countries on Earth were dumbfounded when they heard the news. The Russian Tsar gave the order to stop spying on the island. The British Prime Minister ordered the withdrawal of troops. The German president secretly withdrew the mysterious force, and the first thing he did was to congratulate Huaxia on the victory of the island battle. All the countries were fence-sitters, and they would form alliances with whoever was more powerful. Because of this battle, Huaxia's status in the international arena instantly rose. The secret organizations of the various countries immediately raised their evaluation of Huaxia by several levels, and listed it as one of the countries that couldn't be easily offended. The Battle of the Islands had completely stopped. Qin Feng and the others were still guarding the island to prevent the other countries from launching a sneak attack. The outcome of this battle was completely under Qin Feng's control. His reputation also soared after this battle, and he became the most powerful person in the secular world of Huaxia. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for bringing China's prestige to greater heights. The system has rewarded host Qin Feng with the Divine Skill Interface. The system's notification suddenly rang in Qin Feng's mind. He didn't remember this mission in the system. At this time, he heard Little Pig say, "Master, this is the system's additional reward. You've led Huaxia to defeat the other countries and defended their territory. You've received the system's recognition, so you'll receive an additional reward as a reward." This was the first time Qin Feng received such a reward since he obtained the Hedonist sovereign system. He was suddenly excited. The reward would definitely not be too bad. With a slight thought, Qin Feng entered the system. Currently, Qin Feng had opened more than 10 interfaces in the Hedonist sovereign system. Now, there was the Divine Skill Interface. Divine Skill Interface. Confuse various skills to create your own divine skill. Qin Feng looked at the introduction of the Divine Skill Interface and became interested in it. He had learned many martial skills and skills. If he could master all of them, his strength would definitely increase. "Master, why don't you try fusing the wind blade and the destructive flames first?" Little Pig suggested excitedly. Qin Feng activated the mental cultivation methods of these two martial skills. The system's voice resounded in his mind. "This fusion will cost you 100,000 hedonist points. Do you want to continue?" Qin Feng was shocked. This divine skill interface was really burning money. Just fusing a martial skill required 100,000 hedonist points. However, Little Pig said, "Master, your wind blade is an earth rank martial skill, and your destructive flames is the 10,000 beast true fire. These two skills are very powerful. After fusing them, you'll be able to create an even more powerful new skill. Naturally, the cost will be higher." Qin Feng looked at his hedonist points balance. He still had 1,449,000 hedonist points. He gritted his teeth and said, "Fuse!" A muffled rumble exploded in Qin Feng's mind. A majestic wave of information surged in his mind. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for spending 100,000 hedonist points to successfully fuse the wind blade and destructive flames. Please name the new martial skill. This new martial skill was created by Qin Feng, so the system gave him the right to name it. Qin Feng wasn't in a hurry to name it. He activated the mental cultivation method of the wind blade in his mind. A ray of fire suddenly flew out and condensed into a solid saber chi. The fused martial skill was indeed powerful. It made the fire of the wind blade even more powerful. At the same time, it also increased the attack speed of the destructive flames. There's fire and blade. Let's call it Fire Blade. After witnessing the power of the new skill, Qin Feng named it Fire Blade. He was also interested in the divine skill interface. He looked through the skills he already had and prepared to fuse a few more new skills. Basic sword skill, solitary 9 swords, phantom whip technique, special grade thunder tiger fists, sky burning flaming technique. Qin Feng realized that he had learned a lot of martial skills. He had all kinds of martial skills: saber, sword, fist, whip, etc. However, he didn't choose those low-grade martial skills. If he fused them, they wouldn't be that powerful. After a round of selection, Qin Feng fused the special grade Thunder Tiger Fists and Solitary 9 swords together. Rumble. Another explosion occurred in Qin Feng's mind. A moment later, the system's notification sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for spending 100,000 Hedonist points to successfully fuse a new skill. Please name the new skill. Qin Feng looked at his fists. It was as if there was a cold glint on them. He suddenly swung his fists, and the sound of thunder and tiger roars rang out. However, there was also the sound of swords humming. Qin Feng had only swung his fists, but he had already sent out dozens of surging sword chi. Ha! Good, good. This time, the combination of fists and swords will catch the enemy off guard. Qin Feng was very satisfied with this new skill. After thinking for a moment, he came up with a new name. Let's call it Special Grade Thunder Tiger Flying Sword Fist. When Little Pig heard this name, he immediately rolled down from Qin Feng's shoulder. Master, do you want to reconsider the name? Qin Feng rolled his eyes at Little Pig. Why? This name is so good. It's low-key and meaningful. Most importantly, it's very easy to remember. Don't you think so? Little Pig didn't know what to say to Qin Feng. This name is easy to remember? What's it called again? After fusing 2 new skills, Qin Feng stopped. He looked at his hedonist points, which had increased from 1,449,000 to 1,249,000. His heart was bleeding. At this moment, everyone was gathered on the island for a bonfire party to celebrate the victory of this island battle. Qin Feng was the person with the highest contribution, so he was dragged into the crowd in no time. Everyone, our great hero, Senior Qin Feng, is here. Let's give him a round of applause. The Divine Dragon was the first to clap, and the others immediately followed suit. Hundreds of people gathered in a big circle and clapped thunderously. Their gazes were fixed on Qin Feng, and their emotions were indescribable. The 4 tigers of Huaxia were extremely ashamed. Before this, they were complaining about Qin Feng's recklessness for killing Master Miyagawa of Japan. However, after witnessing Qin Feng's power, they were completely in awe of him. The 9 dragons of Huaxia's eyes flickered. These people were originally known as the most mysterious powerhouses in the secular world of Huaxia. But because of Qin Feng's appearance, their legend fell. Even the Divine Dragon who stood beside Qin Feng became much dimmer. However, no one was jealous of Qin Feng. Instead, they were proud of him. Because of Qin Feng's appearance, Huaxia soared to the sky. Now, which country or power dared to offend Huaxia? You don't have to be so courteous with me. As a Huaxia citizen, this is what I should do. This time, it's all thanks to these martial arts heroes. They are also Huaxia's heroes. Qin Feng never put on airs in front of his friends. He pointed at the row of foreign martial arts experts. The Dragon Sect and Huaxia soldiers all looked over with reverence in their eyes. When these people arrived on the sea, they shocked everyone. Even the 9 dragons and 5 tigers of Huaxia were filled with emotions. The land of Huaxia was indeed full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. The foreign martial arts experts had developed to this stage. Any random one of them was at the pinnacle of stage 9 inner chi, and there were even a few true energy realm powerhouses among them. Originally, the secular world and the foreign martial arts world did not interact with each other. They developed peacefully together. However, because of Qin Feng, the two sides united. Now, they fought together and gathered together to celebrate. Chapter 1280. The battle on the island had ended, and China had sent a large force to guard the island. Qin Feng left with Qiuya and the other two girls. He left Black Tortoise on the island to help China guard the sea. Updated fastest. It had been a long time since Qin Feng returned to Hero City. As soon as he arrived at Hero City with the three girls, the guards at the gate were stunned. Holy shit! City Lord Qin Feng is back. It's really young Master Qin. Quick! Go and report that young Master Qin is back. Qin Feng's arrival caused an uproar in Hero City. Lin Bei and the other girls rushed over immediately. Lu Jie, Long Hair, Huang Jinghua, and the others also surrounded him. Hero City was now a bustling city with a population of around 100,000. Qin Feng was surrounded by tens of thousands of people, and he attracted the attention of many passers-by. Who's that guy? He's so big. This is crazy. Did you see those beauties? Those are the mistresses of Hero City, and those men are the higher-ups of Hero City. They're the elders of the city. They've been here since Hero City was first built. No way. Who is that guy? He looks so young, but he's so important. Qin Feng had left Acropolis for a long time. Legends about him were still circulating, but the number of people who knew him was decreasing. However, there were still a few sharp-eyed men and women in the crowd. They pointed at Qin Feng and exclaimed, That's young Master Qin, the #1 hedonistic young master of Acropolis. Holy shit, it's really young Master Qin. He's the city lord of Hero City. Oh no, let's go greet him and try to get our residency permit. It'll be great if we can stay here for a long time. Hero City had a beautiful environment with surging spiritual energy. The security here was top-notch, and no one dared to cause trouble here. There were shopping malls, hotels, schools, banks, and other facilities. It was as prosperous as a small Shanghai. As a resident of Acropolis City, what they wanted the most was to obtain a residence permit in Hero City so that they could live and work in peace and contentment. Even people from Jincheng City, Sky City, and Yunhai City yearned for Hero City. This place was known as heaven on earth. There were already a lot of people waiting to welcome Qin Feng. Now, waves after waves of passers-by surrounded Hero City, blocking the traffic. Qin Feng was shocked by everyone's enthusiasm. He hurriedly brought Lin Bei and the other women to the base in the depths of Hero City. This was a vast forest, and only the people that Qin Feng was most familiar with could enter. Even ordinary people who had residences in Hero City couldn't enter. The surrounding spiritual energy became denser, and the crowd finally decreased a lot. Qin Feng stood on the mountain peak and looked at the opposite Devil Beast Mountain as well as the Sea Heart Great Array in Riversong. He let out a long sigh of relief. It was Qiuya's first time in Hero City. She was stunned by the beautiful scenery and cultivation resources. Although Yan Wushuang and Lu Bingbing had been here before, they didn't like it. There was only one reason. There were too many beautiful women here. Lin Bei, Han Ying, Hua Yan, the Su sisters, Ma Xinxin, Shui Er, Rao Sherman, Zhang Kuku, Li Shanshan, Chang Xian, Liu Chun, Chao Shishir, Lu Wenjing, Lu Xiaojia. The women were like flowers, and each of them represented a different flower. They surrounded Qin Feng and almost made him dizzy. Soon, Qin Feng's brows furrowed. He hugged Lin Bei and asked, Huh? Where's your big sister Ling Xian? Lin Bei's expression changed, and she said, That's right. I almost forgot. Big sister Ling Xian was taken away. Taken away by who? Qin Feng's expression suddenly became nervous. Lin Bei hurriedly said, Qin Feng, don't worry. It was a few people dressed like female Taoist nuns. They passed by Hero City a while ago and felt the spiritual energy in the city surge, so they came to visit. At that time, it was big sister Ling Xian who received them. Those female Taoist nuns took a fancy to big sister Ling Xian and said that she had a natural charming physique. If she went back with them to cultivate, her cultivation would definitely increase by leaps and bounds. Qin Feng was shocked. He knew that Zhao Lingxian had a natural charming physique. However, aside from him, no one else could see through Zhao Lingxian's physique, and someone else could? Who were those female Taoist nuns? Which sect are they from? Where did they take Lingxian? Qin Feng continued to ask. They said that they were from the Extinction sect and that it wasn't convenient for them to divulge information about their sect. What do we do? Where did they take big sister Lingxian? At that time, everyone saw that those female Taoist nuns didn't seem like bad people. Moreover, big sister Lingxian voluntarily followed them back to the sect to cultivate, so no one paid much attention to this. Now that I think about it, there seems to be a problem. Although Lin Bei Bei was weak, she was an intelligent woman, and she immediately became worried. Qin Feng was greatly shocked. They were from the Extinction sect. Not long ago, he had heard from Wen Yiming that there were extinction sects in the outer martial world, and the Thousand Shadow sect that his mother was from was one of them. What is it, Bei Bei? Is there a problem? Seeing that Lin Bei Bei was so worried that she was about to cry, the women hurriedly came over to comfort her. Lin Bei Bei sobbed. Didn't big sister Lingxian leave with someone a while ago? I don't know which sect those people are from, but we can't find big sister Lingxian now. The women were all shocked. At that time, most of them were busy with their own matters outside, so they hadn't seen those female Taoist nuns. Later, when they heard that Zhao Lingxian voluntarily went to a sect to cultivate, they didn't think too much about it. They were even looking forward to Zhao Lingxian's return after her cultivation, but it turned out that something was wrong. Bei Bei, don't worry. Qin Feng is now the alliance master of the martial world, so he'll definitely be able to find out where Lingxian is. The women comforted Lin Bei Bei, but their expressions were also a bit anxious. Qin Feng knew very well that it was impossible for people from the outer martial world to find out where Zhao Lingxian was. That was an extinction sect, and Qin Feng hadn't even found the Thousand Shadow sect yet. That's right, Bei Bei. You said those female Taoist nuns wanted to take Lingxian back to the sect because they fancied her constitution? Qin Feng quickly calmed down and quickly found a breakthrough point. The people in the Extinction sect were cut off from the rest of the world, and they only came out once every 10 years or even several decades. How powerful was this kind of sect? Even Qin Feng couldn't guess. How could such a powerful extinction sect casually take in a disciple? It must be that Zhao Lingxian's innate charming bones constitution matched the cultivation methods of those Taoist nuns. That's right, those Taoist nuns don't look like bad people. Big sister Lingxian should be fine. Lin Bei Bei started to cry softly as she prayed for Zhao Lingxian in her heart. Qin Feng thought of another piece of news. A few days ago, he sent the entire outer martial world to find out about the Extinction sect and the Thousand Shadow sect. Although he didn't find the Thousand Shadow sect, he found out that the Thousand Shadow sect was a sect of seduction techniques. Their disciples were all female, and they cultivated mysterious seduction techniques that had been lost for a long time. Moreover, Zhao Lingxian's innate charming bones constitution was an exceptional constitution for cultivating seduction techniques. Qin Feng's eyes lit up, and his body trembled slightly. Could it be that Zhao Lingxian was taken away by the Thousand Shadow sect? Qin Feng, are you all right? Lingxian will be fine. Don't worry too much. The women were frightened by Qin Feng's abnormal behavior and hurriedly showed concern for him. Qin Feng was no longer worried about Zhao Lingxian's safety. She had been taken to the Extinction sect to cultivate, so naturally, her life wouldn't be in danger. Qin Feng was wondering if the Taoist nuns who had taken Zhao Lingxian were from the Thousand Shadow sect. After some analysis, he felt that there was an 80% chance that they were. This is great. We've finally found the Thousand Shadow sect's whereabouts. Qin Feng had missed his mother for as long as he could remember, and he wanted to find her at every moment. Now that his mother's whereabouts were becoming clearer, Qin Feng was incredibly excited. However, the other women couldn't understand what he was thinking. Seeing Qin Feng's cold expression and silly smile, the women were all anxious to death. Qin Feng, Don't scare us. If you're sad, say it out loud. Don't keep it to yourself. Big sister Ling Xian is kind, so she'll definitely be fine. Let's go find her now. There are so many people in Hero City, so we'll definitely be able to find big sister Ling Xian. The women tried to persuade Qin Feng as they organized to find Ling Xian. Seeing that the women were even more anxious than he was, Qin Feng hurriedly said, "Don't worry, Ling Xian should be fine. You won't be able to find her, so leave this to me." Qin Feng gave everyone some instructions, then ran to the hotel suite. Previously, Little Pig had communicated with Qin Feng telepathically, telling him to use the Divination Spirit Stone to divine Zhao Ling Xian's location. Qin Feng hadn't used the Divination Spirit Stone in a while, and he felt a bit confused. Back then, the Divination Spirit Stone couldn't even find the Serenity Sect, which was even more secretive than the inner hidden sects. Would the Divination Spirit Stone be able to find her? As soon as Qin Feng entered the room, he took out the Divination Spirit Stone. However, he heard Little Pig say, "Master, you can't divine Zhao Ling Xian directly. You can put an item with Zhao Ling Xian's aura on the Spirit Stone. That way, you'll have a higher chance of finding her." Qin Feng hurriedly rummaged through the room and found Zhao Ling Xian's clothes in the closet. The clothes had a trace of Zhao Ling Xian's aura on them. Qin Feng used the clothes to wipe the Divination Spirit Stone, letting her aura touch the Spirit Stone. He then activated the Divination Spirit Stone's effects. Whoosh! A strange wave of energy suddenly rippled out, covering the room with a milky white light. The Spirit Stone, which had been dull and lifeless like a rotten stone, suddenly shone with light. The surface of the Spirit Stone became like a mirror, and an image appeared within it. There were green mountains and clear waters, birdsong and fragrant flowers. It was like a fairyland, and the scenery was even more beautiful than the inner hidden sects in Hero City. Qin Feng's eyebrows were tightly furrowed. He had no idea what this place was. Luckily, the image within the Divination Spirit Stone continuously changed, as if it was playing a movie. This was most likely the path that Zhao Ling Xian had taken after being taken away. The environment within the image continuously changed, and Qin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He had finally seen a familiar scene. As Qin Feng's thoughts stopped, the image within the Divination Spirit Stone also froze. Chapter 1281. This is near Ice Lake Mountain? Is the entrance to the Thousand Shadows sect in this area? Qin Feng looked at the image on the Spirit Stone more than 10 times. He was sure that the scenery around him was around Ice Lake Mountain. This made Qin Feng a little confused. He had been to Ice Lake Mountain before, and there was only one sect there. There were no other sects within a 100-mile radius. How could the Thousand Shadows sect be near there? If that was really the case, the news of the extinct sect would have spread a long time ago, and they wouldn't be called the extinct sect. Qin Feng, don't lock yourself in your room. Let's take a walk on the beach with you. I've already sent people from Hero City to find out where little sister Ling Xian is. Don't worry. A large group of beauties rushed into Qin Feng's room. They were worried that Qin Feng would not move after returning to his room, so they hurried over. Qin Feng had just found a clue. He looked at the women with a gentle gaze and comforted them. I'm really fine and I have some clues. I'm going to Hero City in the outer martial world now. You guys can go do your own things. Qin Feng left immediately. Although the women were reluctant to let him go, they knew he had important matters to attend to, so they did not ask him to stay. However, Xiaoya pitifully begged Qin Feng to bring her along. She had just pledged her allegiance to Qin Feng and was not familiar with Lin Bei and the other women. Moreover, she was a Japanese woman, so it was very awkward for her to stay in Hero City. Qin Feng understood Xiaoya's difficulties, so he brought her along and left Hero City. Now that he had activated the function of the spatial door, Qin Feng did not need to walk to Hero City in the outer martial world. He found a deserted place and activated the spatial door. Buzz! A strange energy wave rippled around the two of them. Qin Feng's expression was calm, but Xiaoya was so scared that her face turned pale. Waves of silver light flashed around the two of them. Xiaoya felt like she was in a trance. The scenery around her completely changed, and she arrived at an extremely unfamiliar place. Ah, Lord Qinfeng, where are we? What happened to us just now? When Qinfeng subdued Xiaoya on the island, he pulled her into the Systems Heroes Alliance and explained a little. But Xiaoya was still confused. After all, Xiaoya had only been with Qinfeng for less than a week. However, the longer she stayed with Qinfeng, the more she realized how powerful Qinfeng was. It was no wonder that he could kill the 6 great ninjas of Japan on his own. Just his ability to travel through time and space was enough to leave Xiaoya in the dust. Even if the other 6 great ninjas were still alive, they would not be able to do this. Xiaoya thought back to how she had wanted to assassinate Qinfeng and felt it was funny. However, when she thought about it, she felt a strange warmth in her heart when she realized that she was obediently following Qinfeng. Alliance leader Qin, you're back. As soon as Qinfeng arrived outside Hero City, a group of martial arts heroes gathered around him. Not long ago, Qinfeng had led everyone to a great battle on the island. That battle had made these martial arts heroes' blood boil. They couldn't wait to fight a few more times with Qinfeng. This time, Qinfeng had come to look for Zhao Lingxian. He hurriedly greeted everyone and brought Xiaoya into the Celestial Ascension Cave. Su Ruoro, Shaoli, and the Thousand Illusion Child were all there. When Qinfeng was not around, the 3 women cultivated day and night. They wanted to become more powerful so that they could help Qinfeng in the future. Ah, Qinfeng, why are you here all of a sudden? Shaoli greets Master. Yo, old sweetheart, you never change. Every time you come back, you bring a new woman. This time, it's a Japanese girl. When the 3 women saw Qinfeng, they immediately stopped cultivating and surrounded him excitedly. They had just returned from the island and knew that Qinfeng had gone to Acropolis City. They didn't expect him to come back so suddenly. Qinfeng hugged Su Ruoro and kissed her for a while. Then, he looked at the Thousand Illusion Child and said, "Come with me. Ruoro, Shaoli, this is Xiaoya. Show Xiaoya around." Su Ruoro and Shaoli were stunned when Qinfeng left the Thousand Illusion Child alone. The 2 women looked at Qinfeng strangely. Clearly, they thought he left the Thousand Illusion Child alone for that. Did he fall in love with the old woman recently? Su Ruoro and Shaoli left obediently. Xiaoya looked at Qinfeng reluctantly and obeyed his order. Only Qinfeng and Shaoli were left in the Immortal Ascension Cave. Even the Thousand Illusion Child was pleasantly surprised. She suddenly threw herself into Qinfeng's arms and groped around his collar. "Thousand Illusion Child, what are you doing?" Qinfeng was stunned. He looked at her sternly and asked. The Thousand Illusion Child smiled charmingly and pounded Qinfeng's chest. "You damn brat, you already know my cards. Why are you still pretending to be confused?" As she spoke, the Thousand Illusion Child moved her jade-like hand and grabbed Qinfeng's thigh. Qinfeng's body tensed up. He finally understood the old woman's intention and was speechless. "I have serious business to discuss with you. You better behave yourself." Qinfeng's imposing aura confused the Thousand Illusion Child. Could it be that this guy had changed today? What business? Look at this place. Is this the area around Ice Lake Mountain? Qinfeng placed the sky-occupying spirit stone on the ground. With a thought, the image he had saved appeared again. The Thousand Illusion Child realized that Qinfeng was here for business. Her expression became serious. She stared at the spirit stone for a while and said firmly, "This is the forest north of Ice Lake Mountain's North Mountain? My old friend, what's going on?" Qinfeng had guessed that the sky-occupying spirit stone was in the area around Ice Lake Mountain. Now that he had confirmation from the Thousand Illusion Child, he was extremely excited. "Come with me to this place. The entrance to the Thousand Shadow Sect might be nearby. One of my girlfriends was taken away." Qinfeng told her about Zhao Lingxian and analyzed his guess to the Thousand Illusion Child. "That can't be. I've been in Ice Lake Mountain for dozens of years. I've never heard of any other sects nearby, let alone the Extinction Sect." Qinfeng had recently mobilized the entire martial arts world to search for his mother. The Thousand Illusion Child naturally knew about this. Qinfeng had some doubts, but the sky-occupying spirit stone could not be wrong. He said, Let's go and take a look first. It's said that the extinction sect's disciples only come out of seclusion once every 10 or even dozens of years. Maybe no Thousand Shadow sect's disciples came out of seclusion while you were in Ice Lake Mountain. Maybe they came out recently? Okay, then let's go now. The Thousand Illusion child treated Qin Feng's business as her own. She got up anxiously and was ready to go. Qin Feng opened the space-time door. In a trance, the cave around them turned into a forest. The Thousand Illusion child screamed in fear. Qin Feng. Where is this? Qin Feng was amused by the old woman's girlish behavior. He slapped her butt and said, "Are you stupid? This is your Ice Lake Mountain base." The Thousand Illusion child felt a numbness in her body. She calmed down immediately. She looked up and saw a majestic city gate in front of her. The words Ice Lake Mountain were carved on the city gate. Since Qin Feng dominated the martial arts world, he ordered the inner hidden sects to remove the invisibility formation. Now, there was no distinction between the outer hidden sects and the inner hidden sects in the martial arts world. Is this really Ice Lake Mountain? But aren't we in the Immortal Ascension Cave? Why are we here all of a sudden? The Thousand Illusion child was confused again. She felt that her brain was not enough. The hero city of the martial arts world was hundreds of kilometers away from Ice Lake Mountain. Even if they flew here, it would not be so fast. Is Alliance leader Qin here? Before Qin Feng could explain, a group of fairy-like female disciples in white clothes rushed over. When the girls saw Qin Feng, their faces turned pale. They still remembered the scene where Qin Feng bullied Ice Lake Mountain. "Greetings, Alliance leader Qin." "Greetings, Elder Qian Huan." After confirming that it was Qin Feng, the disciples of Ice Lake Mountain knelt on one knee to greet the two. Soon, a white shadow flashed in the sky and arrived outside the city gate in a few breaths. Qian Ming greets Alliance leader Qin. Even the leaders of the inner hidden sects bowed to Qin Feng. But when everyone saw this scene, they felt that it was only natural. Qin Feng's power had already convinced all the big sects in the martial arts world. With his own power, he defeated the Starlight sect, defeated all the big sects in the inner hidden sects, killed the unpopular sect leaders Wahan, who was at stage 2 of Qi cultivation, defeated sect leader Chen Sui, sect leader Jingxin, and Master Yun Lazy. Since then, his status was unshakable. "All right, I'm here for an important matter. There's no need for these formalities." Qin Feng waved his hand. Ice Lake Mountain's sect leader Qian Ming and the disciples dared to stand up. Qian Ming asked immediately, "What can Alliance leader Qin do for Ice Lake Mountain?" Ice Lake Mountain's hundreds of disciples are willing to help. As Ice Lake Mountain's sect leader, you've been guarding this place for nearly 30 years. Have you seen any other sects being built nearby? Qin Feng went straight to the point. Ice Lake Mountain's disciples all had expressions of denial. They had been in the sect for more than 10 years, and some even longer. They knew that apart from Ice Lake Mountain, there weren't any other sects being built nearby. Alliance leader Qin, there definitely aren't any other sects nearby. Before Alliance leader Qin took the position, Ice Lake Mountain was one of the inner hidden 5 hegemons and did things in a domineering manner. This area has the advantage of geography and dense spiritual energy. If other sects came here to build a city, I naturally wouldn't allow it. Sect leader Qian Ming said whatever he wanted to say. There was no need to hide anything from Qin Feng. Qin Feng was astonished. This meant that the trail was going to be broken again. However, the Sky Divination Spirit Stone clearly showed that Zhao Lingxian had been to this area and had disappeared near Ice Lake Mountain. How could this be explained? Did any of you see any outer sect disciples passing by a few days ago? Qin Feng hurriedly asked. Sect leader Qian Ming cultivated painstakingly and usually didn't leave his room, so he didn't know. Chapter 1282. Qin Feng's expression changed, and many questions appeared in his heart. The group that the female disciple was talking about was evidently not the group of Taoist nuns that had taken Zhao Lingxian away. However, that group of people was quite suspicious. Qin Feng asked, "Are you sure you don't know those people? You should be able to tell what sect they're wearing, right?" No matter how big or small a sect was, they all had their own special clothing, which had the sect's insignia. For example, the Flame Sect's disciples' clothing had a burning flame on the chest area. The Ice Lake Mountain female disciple tried to recall, then pouted and shook her head as she said, "I've been in the outer martial arts world for over 10 years, and I know all of the famous disciples of the big sections. I also know their clothing very well. However, this is the first time I've seen the clothing of those people who came down from the South Mountain. There were all sorts of strange birds and beasts drawn on their clothes, and they're not from the outer martial arts world." The female disciple's words caused everyone to look shocked. If they weren't from the outer martial arts world, could it be that people from the secular world had snuck in? However, this idea was quickly denied by everyone. Ice Lake Mountain was located in the depths of the outer martial arts world. Even if a martial artist from the secular world or an ordinary person accidentally entered the outer martial arts world, they would be discovered by the outer hidden sects and chased away by the outer hidden sect disciples. How could they possibly come to the area around Ice Lake Mountain? Alliance Master Chin? Who are you looking for? Is it the group of people that my disciple was talking about? The Thousand Lives sect master's expression became serious. Qin Feng shook his head and said, "It's not that group of people. I'm looking for a group of female Taoist nuns and this woman. She's my friend. Have any of you seen her?" Qin Feng took out a photo of Zhao Lingxian. The Ice Lake Mountain disciples all looked at it seriously, but after a moment, they all shook their heads. None of the 100 or so Ice Lake Mountain disciples had seen Zhao Lingxian. Qin Feng felt quite depressed. Could it be that Zhao Lingxian and those Taoist nuns had disappeared into thin air? "What's your name?" Qin Feng suddenly asked the female disciple who had seen the strange group of people. "Reply Alliance Master Qin. My name is Meng Dai." The female disciple was so scared that she trembled and didn't dare to look Qin Feng in the eye. Qin Feng's voice became gentler as he said, "Meng Dai, don't be afraid. Now, take us to where you saw the strange group of people." Qin Feng left with Meng Dai, leaving Ice Lake Mountain's Thousand Lives sect leader and the disciples at a loss. This area was Ice Lake Mountain's territory. It had an advantageous location and abundant spiritual qi. Ice Lake Mountain was divided into 4 mountains: east, west, south, and north. Ice Lake Mountain's base was in the center of the 4 mountains. Ordinary people would not be able to find this place. Even if they could, Ice Lake Mountain had a concealment formation with Meng Dai leading the way. The 3 of them arrived at the South Mountain area. Meng Dai nervously looked at Qin Feng and said, "Alliance Master Qin, we saw those strange people here. There were a total of 8 of them, and they all wore white robes with pictures of birds and beasts drawn on them. It wasn't the uniform of a martial arts sect. I don't know who they were." Qin Feng immediately circled around, but he didn't find anything wrong. He even suspected that there was a concealment formation nearby, but he couldn't find it at all. "Did those people see you? You didn't say anything?" Qin Feng circled around and returned to Meng Dai's side. Meng Dai was like a child who had done something wrong. She lowered her head and nervously said, "I'm sorry, Alliance Master Qin. I was practicing my sword on the South Mountain and didn't think much of it when I saw those people. They probably saw me, but they ignored me." Seeing Meng Dai tremble in fear, Qin Feng was speechless. Was he really that scary? "I know. I'm not blaming you. Let's go to the North Mountain and have a look." Meng Dai let out a long sigh of relief. She gathered her courage and said to Qin Feng, "Okay, I'll take Alliance Master Qin and Elder Qianhuan there." The North Mountain was the area that Qin Feng had seen with the Sky Divination Spirit Stone. It was not much different from the South Mountain, and the scenery and environment were similar. Qin Feng circled the entire mountain, but he still couldn't find anything. That's strange. Could it be that those Taoist nuns really took Zhao Lingxian and transmigrated? Otherwise, how could they just disappear? Qin Feng was very confused. He wasn't surprised about transmigrating because the spatial door could take him. However, if those Taoist nuns could really transmigrate, why would they go to such a far place like Ice Lake Mountain? Couldn't they have just transmigrated back to the mortal world? "Qin Feng, did you find any clues?" Qian Huanchild asked with concern. Qin Feng shook his head and didn't say much. However, everyone understood. Meng Dai started to feel nervous again, as if it was her fault for not finding any clues. They searched the South Mountain and the North Mountain, but they didn't find anything. Qin Feng wasn't willing to give up, so he searched the West Mountain and the East Mountain, but the result was the same. Looks like the method isn't right. What's wrong? Qin Feng stood at the top of the mountain and calmed his mind to reorganize the information and clues he had. Qian Huanchild and Meng Dai quietly stood to the side. No one dared to disturb Qin Feng's thoughts. After thinking for a while, he still couldn't figure it out. Then, Lin Bei Bei's voice came from the Heroes Alliance. Qin Feng, are you there? Qin Feng hurriedly replied. What's wrong? Bei Bei? Don't worry. Tell me slowly. Sob. Sure is missing too. I think she went to the Demon City in Sichuan. Lin Bei Bei choked with sobs. Qin Feng was surprised. Why did Xiao Sure go to the Demon City in Sichuan? Back then, he brought Dongfang Qingxue to the Demon City to participate in the martial arts circle convention. Later, he found out that the Verdant Sect's main base was in Sichuan. The population in that area was complicated, and it was a place that martial artists often came and went. Because the Demon City was abandoned, and there were rumors that it was haunted, very few ordinary people went there. Now, it gradually became a large market where martial artists gathered and traded. There were often elixir fairs, magic weapon fairs, and spirit weapon fairs there. Sure went alone? How long has she been gone? What did she do? Qin Feng threw out a few questions. Lin Bei Bei cried even louder. Sob. I don't know. When I mobilized my sisters to search for Sister Ling Xian, I discovered that Sure had also disappeared. She didn't appear in Hero City 3 days ago. She should have left alone. Sure has always been a loner. Qin Feng's heart was about to break when he heard Lin Bei Bei's crying. He immediately said, Okay, I got it. Don't cry. I'll go find you now. Sob. You should focus on your own matters first. You just rushed to Hero City in the outer martial world, right? Don't worry about me. I'll be fine in a while. Lin Bei Bei thought Qin Feng would rush back to Acropolis City. It would take another day to go back and forth, and she didn't want to delay Qin Feng's business. However, when she turned off the Hero Alliance's communication function, she saw a flash of silver light on the ceiling. It was so bright that she couldn't open her eyes. Ah, Qin Feng? Is it really you? Why are you back so soon? Lin Bei Bei felt like she was dreaming when she saw Qin Feng suddenly sitting beside her bed. Of course, Qin Feng used the space-time door to come back. Before he came, he told the Thousand Illusion Child to stay in Ice Lake Mountain and investigate the whereabouts of those strange people and Zhao Lingxian. Lin Bei Bei's pretty little face was still wet with tears. She looked lovely. Qin Feng pulled her into his arms and dotingly patted her head. I heard you cry, so I rushed back. Don't worry, Zhao Lingxian and Xiao Sure will be fine. I'll bring them back. Lin Bei Bei's little face was flushed with excitement. She hugged Qin Feng's neck tightly and refused to let go. Qin Feng smelled her delicate scent and suddenly flipped over to put her on the bed. The battle lasted for a long time. Qin Feng touched Lin Bei Bei's soft and white skin reluctantly. Lin Bei Bei's emotions had calmed down, and she looked at Qin Feng tenderly. Bei, be good and wait for me in Hero City. I'm going to Demon City in Central River and see what Sure is doing there. Qin Feng saw that it was getting late, so he prepared to leave. Lin Bei Bei hugged Qin Feng's arm reluctantly and said, I want to go too. Qin Feng chuckled and patted her head. He said, You should focus on cultivating in Hero City. When you're stronger, I'll take you out. The two of them cuddled for a while. Then, Qin Feng put on his clothes and left. There was a flash of silver light. Under Lin Bei Bei's shocked gaze, Qin Feng disappeared into thin air, as miraculously as he appeared out of thin air. To avoid attracting attention, Qin Feng chose to land on a barren hill outside of Demon City. The sun was setting, and Demon City was shrouded in a blood-red hue. It looked somewhat eerie and terrifying. Demon City was originally a residential area of villas and mansions invested by a local developer. However, ghosts appeared in the middle of the construction. Later, the developer and the workers were all scared away, and the construction stopped halfway. It became a wasteland. Normally, no one dared to come here. However, at this time, many martial artists dressed in simple and unadorned clothes came and went. It was a lively scene. Qin Feng thought for a while and finally changed his original appearance to that of Zheng Shuai. He felt that something big had happened in Demon City recently, so he decided to investigate in secret. After putting on the 100 Transformations mask, Qin Feng looked in the mirror. He hadn't used this ordinary and slightly ugly face for a long time, so he missed it. Qin Feng couldn't help but think of his celebrity life in the capital and Hong Kong with the pretty girls group and Ma Xian. It was comfortable and ambiguous. Those carefree days would probably be rare in the future. Fuck. You're hiding here pretending to be a ghost to scare people? You almost scared me to death. I'm so fucking unlucky. I've just arrived at Demon City and I already see such an ugly man. He looks like a ghost. Just as Qin Feng was reminiscing about his time as a celebrity, he suddenly heard a grumble. 5 men wearing the same gray robes happened to pass by. They probably hadn't noticed Qin Feng and were startled when they saw him. Qin Feng casually swept his eyes over them. These 5 were disciples of the Carefree sect. With Qin Feng's current status, the Carefree sect leader didn't even have the right to carry his shoes. Chapter 1283. There were a total of 5 people from the Carefree sect. The leader was a burly man with thick eyebrows and big eyes. The 5 people were shocked by Qin Feng's sudden appearance. How could they be in a good mood? The leader shouted at him, "Brat, you scared us. Tell me, what should we do?" Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He almost slapped these brats to death. But when he thought of his handsome appearance, Qin Feng was a little scared. "Oh? Then what do you want to do?" Qin Feng looked at them with interest. Before the brawny leader could speak, a monkey-like kid behind him jumped out and yelled at Qin Feng, "Brat, we're the eldest disciples of the Carefree sect. We're very powerful. If you're smart, hand over all your treasures, and we'll let you go." Qin Feng was almost amused. He just stood there and did nothing. "Did I offend you? Is it a sin to be ugly? My junior brother is right. Hand over all your treasures. I am the eldest senior brother of the Carefree sect, Sun Fei. You should have heard of me." The burly man stared at Qin Feng with a silly look. Qin Feng shook his head and smiled. "Never heard of you. The Carefree sect is just a small sect. I don't even care about your sect leader." What Qin Feng said was the truth. With his current identity, the Carefree sect was just an ant-like existence. But the 5 disciples of the Carefree sect were enraged. They thought Qin Feng was bragging. Sun Fei jumped up and shouted, "Hey, you are ugly and arrogant. Today I will teach you how to be a man." Boom! Sun Fei roared and punched. His fist brought up a gust of wind like a fierce tiger coming down the mountain. Qin Feng was very angry. "What does being ugly have to do with you?" He moved his mind and a cosmic flying sword appeared in front of Sun Fei. He was so scared that he stopped immediately. What is this?" Sun Fei's eyes widened and he looked incredulous. The remaining 4 disciples were also dumbfounded. The Monkey Chi disciple suddenly exclaimed, Flying sword, eldest senior brother. It's a flying sword. You have good eyesight. This is a flying sword. I will show you its power." Whoosh! Just as Qin Feng finished speaking, a pink light flashed. Before the others could react, they felt some warm liquid on their necks and faces. The 4 of them instinctively reached out to touch it, and were instantly scared half to death. "Ah! Eldest senior brother, second senior brother and master have been... Pooey! Second senior brother has been killed. Yes, it's a flying sword. That person used a flying sword to kill second senior brother." The atmosphere immediately fell into a deathly silence. The 4 disciples of the Carefree sect stared at Qin Feng in terror. They were so frightened that their bodies trembled uncontrollably. Whoosh! The sword hummed again, and the four of them immediately cried out. They thought that their heads would fall to the ground in the next second, but there was no movement for a long time. The cosmic flying sword hovered in mid-air, and Qin Frun's indifferent voice sounded, "You guys want to snatch my treasure? If you like this flying sword, then take it. I'm afraid you don't have the ability." The fact that Qin Feng killed a stage 7 inner chi expert with a single thought had already shocked Sun Fei and the other three. How would they dare to do anything to Qin Feng? They could only hope that Qin Feng would spare their lives. Thump! The four of them knelt in front of Qin Feng at the same time. Sun Fei's voice trembled as he spoke. "Why, hero? We have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please forgive us, senior hero." Qin Feng didn't come to Devil City to kill people. He also didn't want to argue with Sun Fei and the other rookies. He waved his hand and the flying sword returned to the system. He said coldly, "Now can you answer my first question? Why did you come to Devil City in the evening?" Sun Fei and the others didn't dare to get up. They knelt on the ground and said, "Reporting to Hero, we are here to choose a mount." Qin Feng was startled. "Choose a mount? Tell me more details." Sun Fei cautiously looked at Qin Feng. He looked serious and didn't look like he was joking. This made Sun Fei and the others suspicious. Could it be that the hero in front of them really didn't know about the recent big movements in Devil City? He was so powerful, but the news was so hidden. "Senior hero, a spirit beast merchant group came to Devil City a few days ago. They are selling a large number of mounts here. These mounts are at least wild beasts. There are also ferocious beasts, demonic beasts, magical beasts, and spirit beasts." Once the news spread, the outer martial artists all came here to buy mounts and battle pets. Qin Feng had been busy with the Battle of the Living Island recently. He had also pulled the elites of the outer martial artists' hero city to fight on the island. No one really paid much attention to the martial artists' affairs. Who would have thought that there would be people selling spirit beasts and battle pets here? Ever since he got the Hedonist sovereign system, Qin Feng had also fused several battle pets. Black Tortoise had now become the overlord of the sea. Glacier Snow Mastiff and Flaming Golden Eagle had all awakened their respective skills. Now, they were comparable to martial artists in the first stage of True Chi realm. However, Pikachu was still the same. Qin Feng even suspected that this little guy was a battle pet that he fused. Qin Feng also had a flaming dragon horse, which was his real mount. After having these battle pets, his strength became even more powerful. When he swept through the demon Holy Land, the elders and sect leaders of the large demon sects also had their own ferocious beast mounts and battle pets. On the other hand, the orthodox martial artists of the outer martial artists rarely fought on mounts and battle pets. In the past, there were no resources. Now that there was a merchant group selling such items in Devil City, it naturally attracted the disciples of the outer martial artists to come and fight. After understanding the situation in Devil City, Qin Feng continued to ask, "How long has the spirit beast merchant group been here?" Sun Fei hurriedly said, "I don't know exactly when the merchant group came, but the news of battle pets and mounts being sold in Devil City has spread for 5 days. They came at least 5 days ago." Qin Feng calculated the time. At that time, he was leading the elites of the outer martial artists to fight on the island. Moreover, according to Lin Bei Bei, Zhao Lingxian also left with the nun at that time. Also, the female disciple of Ice Lake Mountain, Meng Dai, also saw those strange people a few days ago. All these things happened at the same time. It would be a stretch to say that it was a coincidence, but what was the connection between all these things? Qin Feng couldn't figure it out for a while. "Okay, you guys lead the way. I want to see the battle pets and mounts that the merchant group is selling." Qin Feng didn't think too much about it. He would know once he went to Devil City. Sun Fei was already carefully leading the way in front. He said with some difficulty, "Great Hero Senior, I heard that the spiritual beast merchant group in Devil City only opens for business during the day. Normally, they will stop selling after noon. It's already evening now, we definitely won't be able to see them." They talked as they walked, and soon, they arrived at Devil City. Just as Sun Fei said, there were no people from the spirit beast merchant group in the city. Instead, there were groups of martial artists coming and going. Some of them were accompanied by ferocious beasts, and some were even riding on ferocious beasts. There are indeed wild beasts for sale, but these are only low-level wild beasts. They're too weak compared to magical beasts and spirit beasts. Qin Feng stood at the city gate and looked around, mumbling to himself. He had entered Devil Beast Mountain more than 10 times, so he had a good understanding of magical beasts and spirit beasts. The three-eyed elephant boar that he encountered when he first entered Devil Beast Mountain was the lowest-level wild beast. The flame wolf and berserk black demonic bear that he killed later were the real magical beasts. As for the white-furred demonic ape, it was a high-level magical beast. However, Qin Feng didn't see any real spirit beasts in Devil Beast Mountain. He guessed that there were spirit beasts in the deeper regions of Devil Beast Mountain, but he had never stepped into that region. Even the glacial snow mastiff and flaming golden condor seemed to be afraid of the spirit beasts. Great hero, I'm not wrong, right? The Spirit Beast Merchant Group is not open for business at night. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave first. Sun Fei looked like he was in a hurry to leave. He felt pressured staying by Qin Feng's side. Qin Feng hid his flying sword and killed a stage 7 inner chi expert in the blink of an eye. He must be a powerful being. That was why Sun Fei and the other 3 didn't dare to stay by his side. Qin Feng was no stranger to Devil City. He subdued Xiao Li and killed the ghastly evil king here. You guys can leave. Qin Feng didn't make things difficult for Sun Fei and the other 3. He turned around and entered the Sichuan restaurant. This was the only restaurant in Devil City that was open for business. The rooms were always overcrowded. If one wanted to book a room here, they had to rely on their fists. Money alone was useless. Boss, give me a superior suite. Qin Feng threw a stack of red notes on the counter. The owner of the restaurant was the same old man that Qin Feng met last time. The old man glanced at the cash and his expression didn't change at all. Before he could say anything, a group of strong men in black robes walked in. They laughed at Qin Feng and said, "Ha ha! Where did you come from, brat? You came to Sichuan restaurant with cash to book a superior suite? Is there something wrong with your head?" Qin Feng glanced at the group. There were a total of 6 strong men wearing the uniform of the Divine Dragon sect. Previously, Qin Feng had brutally oppressed the successor of the Divine Dragon sect, Zhang Jin. Now, a group of disciples came to him and clamored. Qin Feng found it funny. "Manager Tong, here are 10 mid-grade spirit stones. Give us a bigger room." "Chun," she said. The man in the lead of the Divine Dragon sect was called Zhang Fei. He looked to be in his early 40s and was a great elder of the Divine Dragon sect. This was the difference between a small sect and a big sect in the outer martial arts world. For example, the 5 sects of Huaxia had the qualifications to be a great elder at least 60 years old. Their strength was in the ranks of stage 9 inner chi. However, Zhang Fei was merely at stage 8 inner chi. He became the great elder of the Divine Dragon sect when he was in his early 40s. When Manager Tong saw the spirit stones, his old eyes sparkled. He was a completely different person from when he saw Qin Feng take out the cash. However, those who could come to Sichuan Devil City were all strong people. Manager Tong couldn't afford to offend anyone. He smiled and said, "2 heroes. There is only 1 empty room left in the restaurant. Do you want to discuss who should we give this room to?" Bang! Without waiting for Qin Feng to speak, the great elder of the Divine Dragon sect, Zhang Fei, slammed the counter and glared at Qin Feng fiercely. He shouted, "Brat, if you know what's good for you, hurry up and scram. This Devil City isn't a place for trash like you." How arrogant was Zhang Fei? Chapter 1284. Manager Tong was trembling in fear, but he didn't dare to step forward to persuade him. Qin Feng looked indifferent, as if he didn't hear Zhang Fei's threat. "Brat, are you fucking deaf? I'm talking to you, are you leaving or not?" Zhang Fei started to act ruthlessly again. Before Qin Feng could make a move, another group of people came in. It was Sun Fei's group that ran away not long ago. "Senior hero, you are also staying in the hotel." Sun Fei was depressed the moment he entered the room. He finally got rid of Qin Feng, but he bumped into him again. Most importantly, Qin Feng seemed to have a conflict with the people from Divine Dragon Sect. Sun Fei didn't know whether to leave or stay. Sun Fei, you know this guy? Zhang Fei recognized Sun Fei and asked with a cold face. Sun Fei couldn't escape anymore, so he pretended to be calm and said, "This is our senior hero? What do you want?" Divine Dragon Sect and Carefree Sect were both small sects in the outer martial arts world, and they were equally powerful. Usually, the disciples of the two sects didn't like each other and felt that they were superior. "Ha! How can you call this idiot senior hero? Have you lost your mind? Or is Carefree Sect going to be destroyed?" Zhang Fei sneered and stared at Sun Fei. Sun Fei didn't want to get involved in this matter, but he was angered by Zhang Fei's words. "Zhang, how dare you slander the prestige of Carefree Sect? If my Carefree Taoist hears this, you might lose your life." When Zhang Fei heard Carefree Taoist's name, his heart skipped a beat, but he pretended to be calm and shouted, "Humph! What's wrong with Carefree Taoist? Our Divine Dragon Sect also has sect leader Zhang Long. Are we afraid of your Carefree Sect?" "Zhang Fei, watch out for my sword." Most of the people in the martial arts world were rash, and they would fight with just a few words. Sun Fei suddenly stabbed out with his sword. But Zhang Fei was prepared. He punched out with both fists, and the air was filled with wind. When the sword stabbed into Zhang Fei's fists, there was a loud sound of metal clashing. Rumble. With the dull sound, Zhang Fei and Sun Fei both took 3 steps back. The disciples on both sides immediately got into formation and started shouting at each other. "The Divine Dragon Sect is nothing. Today, I'll show you the might of the Carefree Sect. Cut the crap. This great me can crush all of you with one divine dragon fist." Rumble. For a moment, the hall was filled with the cries of swords and gusts of fists. Both sides had about the same number of people, and their strengths were also about the same. The scene looked incomparably intense, scaring Manager Tong until he repeatedly tried to dissuade them. But no one listened to his words. Qin Feng stood to the side as if nothing had happened. He was disinclined to look at these people fighting like children playing house. "Shopkeeper Tong, right? Give me that empty room." Manager Tong was so angry that his face darkened. This fight started because of Qin Feng, yet this person still had the mind to get a room? "There's no room left. Hurry and leave." Manager Tong looked at Qin Feng as if he was looking at a pestilence god. Qin Feng was instantly displeased. "You just said there was an empty room, and now you're saying there's no more? Are you stirring up trouble?" Qin Feng's expression turned cold, and his body emitted waves of powerful aura. Manager Tong felt an indescribable pressure assault him. He immediately withdrew his icy expression and said with a calm tone, "This little brother, there really are no more rooms. I remembered wrongly. The remaining room is reserved internally. No one else can stay in it." "Oh? Who is so arrogant to even reserve a room here internally?" Qin Feng had a cold smile on his face. A strange smile flashed across Manager Tong's eyes. He suddenly had confidence as he raised his voice and said, "The only suite on the top floor is still empty. That's the suite specially reserved for the Alliance Master of the pugilistic world, Qin Feng. The room card is here. If you have the guts, just go and stay there." Currently, Qin Feng's name resounded throughout the entire pugilistic world. That powerful prestige was unshakable by anyone in the pugilistic world. Previously, there were also many arrogant disciples who ran over to get a room. Every time Manager Tong used this move, those disciples would immediately be frightened into running away with their tails between their legs. Even if the room card for the top floor suite was placed on the counter, no one dared to take it. "It's this room card, right? Then I won't be courteous." Manager Tong was currently looking at Qin Feng from the corner of his eyes arrogantly, waiting to see him run away in fright. However, he saw Qin Feng pick up the room card and walk towards the elevator with an attitude of not putting the Alliance Master of the pugilistic world in his eyes. "Why, you really have the guts to go? Why quickly come back? That's Alliance Master Qin's." Whoosh! Before Manager Tong could finish speaking, a few subtle sounds of wind being torn resounded in the air. A few sparks flickered among the people who were fighting fiercely in the Great Hall. In the next second, several people from the Divine Dragon sect suddenly fell to the ground and couldn't get up. Fresh blood gushed out and dyed the entire Great Hall's floor the color of blood. Sun Fei and the others were abruptly stupefied. They had an expression as if they had seen a living ghost. Manager Tong forcefully swallowed the second half of his sentence. His old eyes were filled with terror, and he didn't dare to say another word of nonsense to Qin Feng. Qin Feng had already walked into the elevator and went upstairs. The Great Hall was still immersed in a strange atmosphere. The carefree sect disciples were unable to return to their senses. Manager Tong looked at the fresh blood that flowed to his feet. He could no longer support his body and sat on the ground. Fuck! There's a fight here? Isn't it just a fight? What's there to make a fuss about? Carefree sect and Divine Dragon sect actually fought, and Carefree sect obtained a complete victory? The strength of these two sects is on par? Demon City was a gathering of martial artists. Usually there were countless conflicts and fights. Everyone had seen it before. However, the fact that the Carefree sect disciples could kill all the people from the Divine Dragon sect surprised everyone. Sun Fei and the others finally came to their senses. Each and every one of them revealed a bewildered expression. They didn't kill the people from the Divine Dragon sect. Sun Fei still didn't know what happened until now. Manager Tong, are there any vacant rooms? Sun Fei couldn't care so much. He planned to settle the accommodation first. If there were no more rooms in the Sichuan restaurant, he could only make do with the unfinished villa for the night. Why heroes, why there's still a vacant room? You can stay there. When Manager Tong saw Sun Fei and the others, it was as if he had seen demons. He was so scared that he shivered. Sun Fei was astonished again. With their carefree sex strength, they couldn't establish a foothold in Demon City. In the past, they came to Sun Fei several times and couldn't get a room. He didn't expect it to be so smooth tonight. Then, thank you, Manager Tong. Sun Fei quickly cupped his hands and said, you don't need to thank me. Your senior hero went to the top floor suite. You can look for him. No wonder Manager Tong was so afraid of Sun Fei and the others. It turned out that he was intimidated by Qin Feng's might. Sun Fei and the others called Qin Feng senior hero. The fight just now also seemed to be helping Qin Feng. This made Manager Tong think that they were on the same side. Naturally, he didn't dare to slight Sun Fei and the others. Sun Fei suddenly came to his senses. He finally understood who killed Zhang Fei and the others. Killing people invisibly, only senior hero's flying sword could do that. Qin Feng entered the suite and walked one round in the room. He was quite satisfied with the environment here. Just as he rested on the sofa for a while, the doorbell rang. Senior hero, thank you for your help just now. The door opened. Sun Fei stood alone outside the door with a fawning smile on his face. Qin Feng calmly walked back to the sofa and sat down. He only helped to teach Zhang Fei and the others a lesson for their arrogance. He didn't deliberately help the carefree sect disciples. Sun Fei cautiously entered the room. He didn't dare to sit down. He stood to the side and said, Senior hero, you are so powerful. You must be famous in the martial arts world. Little brother's knowledge is too low. I still don't know the name of senior hero. Qin Feng's face turned cold. He said in a deep voice, don't ask what you shouldn't. Be careful or you'll lose your head. Sun Fei was so scared that he almost fell. He wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and quickly said, Senior hero is right. I spoke too much. Qin Feng raised his head and glanced at the trembling Sun Fei. He said, help me find someone? Senior hero, please speak. Little brother Sun Fei will definitely do his best to find her. Qin Feng's main purpose in coming to Demon City was to find Xiao Shishir. He didn't see Xiao Shishir on the way here or in the hotel. This made him somewhat anxious. This is my girlfriend. She's also in Demon City. Have you seen her? Qin Feng found Xiao Shishir's photo on his phone. The girl was wearing a long white dress. She stood gracefully in the sun. It was as if she was isolated from the world. Sun Fei was shocked by Qiao Shishi's pure and refined beauty. He couldn't help but take a few more glances at her. When he came back to his senses, he was scared half to death. He quickly said, "Senior hero, I didn't see sister-in-law on the way here. Demon City has a large population. There are many martial arts people coming and going every day. It will take some time to find her. There's a martial arts gathering tonight. I'll go to the gathering and help you look for her." Qin Feng's expression changed slightly. "Martial arts gathering?" Sun Fei quickly said, "It's a gathering organized by martial arts people. Many disciples from different sects participate in it. They exchange martial arts. Some go to pick up girls and show off." Qin Feng had no interest in this kind of gathering. When he was still a hedonistic young master, he attended this kind of gathering every night to pick up girls and show off. After a moment of silence, Qin Feng said, "When does the gathering start? I'll go with you to have a look." Qin Feng thought he might run into Qiao Shishi at the gathering. Sun Fei looked at his watch and said, "Aya, the gathering has already started. Senior hero, let me bring you there." Qin Feng followed Sun Fei and left. It turned out that there was an underground entertainment center in the basement of this Chuanzhong restaurant. When the two of them entered, the dim yellow light inside was ambiguous and noisy. It felt like they had entered a nightclub. These martial arts people really know how to enjoy themselves. Qin Feng looked around and saw many scantily dressed beauties shuttling through the crowd. Sun Fei's face turned red. He said awkwardly, "Martial arts people are also human. Some physiological needs have to be satisfied." Chapter 1285. There were too many people in the underground hall. Qin Feng didn't see Qiao Shishi for a while, so he ordered a glass of red wine and found a seat. "Senior hero, look over there. That's the free arena. You can bet on it?" Sun Fei explained to Qin Feng as he knew the place well. "You want me to fight in the arena?" Qin Feng was stunned. Sun Fei was so scared that he was trembling. He quickly said, "Sir Hero, you misunderstood me. I was just saying it casually. The people who go to the free arena are all martial artists. If they lose, they have to pay some spiritual stones, spiritual energy, or even martial arts manuals as a wager. I've always wanted to give it a try, but my martial arts skills are not good enough. If I were as good as you, I would definitely win a lot of cultivation resources." Sun Fei did want Qin Feng to fight in the arena because he thought it was a great opportunity for Qin Feng. With Qin Feng's powerful skills, not many people in the hall could be his match. But Qin Feng wasn't interested in spirit stones, spiritual equipment, and martial arts manuals. Compared to the golden divine equipment and supreme martial arts manuals in his system, the cultivation resources of the sects in the outer martial world were nothing to him. "I'm here to look for someone. I'm not interested in anything else." Qin Feng's voice was indifferent. Sun Fei immediately shut his mouth and didn't dare to talk about fighting in the arena anymore. The two of them were searching for Qiao Shishi in the crowd. Suddenly, they heard an angry roar. "You two stinking brats! Get out of my way! I'm taking this seat!" 5 drunken men staggered toward them. The leader even pushed Qin Feng. Sun Fei was enraged. He pulled out the long sword from his waist and stabbed at them. "Bastard! How dare you be rude to Senior Hero? Let me teach you a lesson." Clang! Sun Fei was a stage 8 inner chi expert. His sword created a strong gust of wind. The drunken man sobered up when he sensed the murderous aura. Just as the sword was about to pierce his throat, the man kicked Sun Fei away like an awakened lion. "Motherfucker! How dare a stage 8 inner chi brat act tough in front of me? Do you know who I am? I'm Shao Qing, the eldest disciple of the Broken Cliff Mountain." Shao Qing's thunderous roar scared the people around him and made them retreat to the side. The Broken Cliff Mountain was an inner hidden sect, and Shao Qing was a famous stage 9 inner chi expert in the martial world. Although Qin Feng had removed the distinction between the inner hidden sects and the outer hidden sects after he had dominated the martial arts world, the inner hidden sects had existed for a long time. The power of the inner hidden sect disciples was generally stronger than that of the outer hidden sects. Therefore, in the martial arts world, The inner hidden sect disciples were slightly stronger. Sun Fei fell to the ground and knocked over a table. He endured the pain and got up, but he was no longer as arrogant as before. In front of the inner hidden sects, what was a mere carefree sect worth? Stage, you still dare to sit here, aren't you? Xiao Qing looked at Qin Feng with a playful expression. Behind him stood his 4 companions. The 4 of them had already walked up and surrounded Qin Feng, looking as if they were afraid that he would run away. Even though he was surrounded by 5 experts, Qin Feng still held a glass of red wine and leisurely leaned back in his chair. It was as if Xiao Qing and the others were heir to him. Kowtow and apologize to my little brother, and I'll spare your lives, Qin Feng said indifferently. Xiao Qing and the others were stunned. They stared at each other blankly. Xiao Qing quickly regained his senses. He was so angry that his eyes were spewing fire. He swung his huge iron fist at Qin Feng's head and said, "You ant! I'll kowtow to you." Swoosh! The moment Qin Feng punched, the crowd went wild. Many people gathered around to watch the show. Sun Fei, on the other hand, was sweating profusely. In the end, he still couldn't figure out Qin Feng's true strength. He was worried that Qin Feng would lose because his opponent had a stage 9 inner chi expert. Swoosh! The sound of the wind whistling could be heard, but no one noticed it in this noisy environment. However, several balls of fire appeared out of nowhere and flickered, drawing the crowd's exclamations. Qin Feng had combined the wind blade with the destructive fire not long ago. Now that the fire blade was unleashed, the 5 disciples of the broken cliff mountain collapsed to the ground. Xiao Qing died the worst. His head was separated from his body, and there was a burning smell coming from his neck. It was as if he had been roasted. Ah, murder! There's murder here. It's just a dead body. What's there to be surprised about? Quick, call someone to get the body out of here. What's burnt? It stinks. Which sect does that ugly man belong to? I've never seen him before. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Not only were there martial artists in the underground venue, but there were also many martial artists from the secular world and descendants of powerful families. Martial artists were used to this kind of killing scene, so their expressions didn't change much. However, the rich heirs and young models screamed in fear. Sun Fei was dumbfounded. His eyes were filled with terror. Once again, he witnessed Qin Feng's miraculous killing technique. This time, Qin Feng's technique was even more ferocious and powerful. How could he kill people with just a few balls of fire? He had never heard of any sect in the secular world that had cultivated such a powerful martial art technique. A few security guards rushed to the scene. They were used to the killings in Devil City, so they dragged the bodies of Xiao Qing and the others away. The venue was cleaned up in no time. The crowd dispersed and continued to have fun as if nothing had happened. Sun Fei sat down opposite Qin Feng and looked at him with reverence. Qin Feng continued to drink as if nothing had happened. He looked at the crowd around him, but he still couldn't find Xiao Shi. "Fellow cultivator, our 7 Mountain Monastery's elder senior brother wants to see you." A figure came over and said to Qin Feng. Sun Fei's expression changed drastically. Not long ago, the broken cliff mountain had come to cause trouble, and now the 7 Mountain Monastery was here. The 7 Mountain Monastery was much more powerful than the broken cliff mountain. It used to be one of the second-rate sects in the inner hidden world, and its power was second only to the 5 hidden hegemons. "Why does your elder senior brother want to see me?" Qin Feng asked indifferently. "He thinks that you have good skills and are qualified to be his opponent. He wants to invite you to fight him," the man said. He didn't dare to slight Qin Feng. Qin Feng had just killed Xiao Qing, who was at the middle stage of stage 9 inner chi. His strength had shocked many people in the venue. "I'm not interested," Qin Feng said impatiently. The 7 Mountain Monastery's disciple looked troubled. "You better come with me. I'm just following orders." Qin Feng was enraged. As the leader of the martial arts world, he wasn't someone who could be challenged by anyone. Qin Feng's expression turned cold. He glared at the 7 Mountain Monastery's disciple and said, "Your elder senior brother wants to challenge me, right?" Ask him to come here himself. Stop talking nonsense. Otherwise, you won't be able to talk anymore. The Seven Mountain Monastery's disciple wanted to persuade Qin Feng again, but he shut his mouth when he heard Qin Feng's last sentence. He glared at Qin Feng with disdain in his heart. Even though Qin Feng had displayed extraordinary skills, he was nothing in the Seven Mountain Monastery's disciples' eyes. Their elder senior brother was a stage 1 true Qi expert. He could kill Qin Feng in a matter of minutes. The disciple had already left. He complained, "You're just a piece of trash. How dare you make our elder senior brother come and find you? You'll be tortured to death. Senior hero, should we leave?" Sun Fei asked Qin Feng worriedly after the Seven Mountain Monastery's disciple left. "Why should we leave? I haven't seen all the people here yet." Qin Feng didn't care about the Seven Mountain Monastery at all. He continued to look for Qiao Shishir in the crowd. Even the leaders of the hidden 5 hegemons had to bow down to him. How dare a mere elder senior brother from a second-rate sect behave so atrociously? What a joke! Sun Fei didn't know Qin Feng's powerful identity. He was just a stage 8 inner Qi carefree sect disciple. How would he dare to offend a big sect like the Seven Mountain Monastery? Senior hero, that's a second-rate sect. Rumor has it that elder senior brother Hezhong has already broken through to stage 1 true Qi. It's better for us to leave. Sun Fei thought Qin Feng didn't know how powerful Hezhong was, so he explained everything to him. However, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear anything. He drank his red wine leisurely and said, "You can leave if you're afraid. I won't stop you." Sun Fei looked troubled. He was truly afraid of the Seven Mountain Monastery. However, he knew that he would leave a bad impression on Qin Feng if he left alone. In the end, he gritted his teeth and sat on his seat. "Forget it. Since senior hero doesn't want to leave, then I'll accompany you." Sun Fei was ready to die. Qin Feng couldn't help but laugh. At this time, a tall and handsome man in white walked over. His face was as cold as ice. He stood beside Qin Feng and said, "Brat, I'm giving you face by inviting you to the arena. Do you really think you're someone important? Believe it or not, I can kill you with one slap." The man had a domineering aura, and his voice was as loud as a bell. Pressured Sun Fei so much that he couldn't breathe. Qin Feng glanced at the man and acted as if he didn't see him. The disciple who came to talk to Qin Feng earlier was unhappy. He slammed the table in front of Qin Feng and shouted, "Brat, this is our Seven Mountain Monastery's senior brother, Hezhong. Why aren't you standing up and greeting him?" Qin Feng came to the underground arena to look for Qiao Shishir. He didn't expect to run into so much trouble. He became impatient and said, "I'll give you a chance to live. Get out of my sight now. Otherwise, you'll disappear from this world." Qin Feng's words were so domineering that it shocked Sun Fei and the people from the Seven Mountain Monastery. The atmosphere became quiet. After a while, Hezhong threw his head back and laughed hysterically. "Ha ha! This is the funniest joke I've heard this year. You want me to disappear from this world? Do you know what realm I'm in?" Hezhong was extremely arrogant. However, a flash later, his smile froze on his face. The disciples of the Seven Mountain Monastery and Sun Fei stared at him in disbelief. A thin line appeared on Hezhong's neck. At first, it looked like he was strangled by a strand of hair. However, the thin line gradually split open. Finally, a pillar of blood spurted out and a muffled explosion sounded. Hezhong, who was at stage 1 true Qi, was beheaded. Eldest senior brother. What's wrong with you? Who killed our senior brother? Show yourself if you have the guts. He's the genius disciple of the Seven Mountain Monastery. He's at stage 1 true Qi. How could he die just like that? How powerful is the person who killed him? Chapter 1286. You must be the one who killed senior brother He. Don't try to deny it. Just admit it. Hezhong's death was too sudden, and Qin Feng's attack was too fast. No one saw what happened, and no one could confirm that Qin Feng was the one who killed Hezhong. The disciple who came to deliver the message glared at Qin Feng. He had been yelling for a long time, but no one had made a move. Even the stage 1 true Qi stage senior brother had died. How could he and the other disciples from the Seven Mountain Monastery dare to fight Qin Feng head-on? Qin Feng said calmly, "Cut the crap. I'm the one who killed your bullshit senior brother. I'm standing right here. If you want revenge, come at me." The disciples of the Seven Mountains Monastery were stunned. They didn't expect Qin Feng to admit to it. This made them extremely depressed. They were in a dilemma. The disciple who delivered the message pretended to be calm and shouted, "Brat, don't think you're so great just because you killed senior brother He. Our Seven Mountain Temple is a hidden sect in the pugilistic world. Our sect leader has already stepped into stage 3 true Qi. If you have the guts, just you wait. We'll go back and report to the sect now." Noisy! This person talked too much. Qin Feng picked his ear and waved his hand. The strange flame appeared again. Before the disciples of Seven Mountain Temple could react, they were already lying in a pool of blood. Whoosh! The crowd exclaimed. This time, not only were the disciples of the big families and ordinary people screaming, but even the disciples of the pugilistic world were shocked. Qin Feng was too powerful. He killed He Zhong, who was at stage 1 true Qi, with a wave of his hand. He was even more arrogant. He didn't even put the Seven Mountain Temple in his eyes. He killed all the disciples who came here with a wave of his hand. The noisy atmosphere in the underground hall became strange. The smell of burnt blood filled the air. Many young models squatted on the ground and vomited. Sun Fei was stunned. He was completely shocked by Qin Feng's strength. He was glad that he wasn't too arrogant and submitted to Qin Feng in time. Otherwise, he would have ended up like the disciples of Seven Mountain Temple. Clap, clap, clap. The silent hall was suddenly filled with applause. Many people finally regained their senses and looked to the side in surprise. A group of men in green robes walked over. The crowd gasped when they saw the handsome young man leading the group. Damn, that's the genius disciple of Immortal Cloud Sect, Yun Jian. I heard he reached stage 1 true Qi at the age of 30. Immortal Cloud Sect's disciple. That's Immortal Cloud Sect, one of the 5 hidden forces. These people should be here to find that man. Just who is he? He actually drew out so many hidden sections. The appearance of the Seven Mountain Monastery had already shocked everyone. Now that the Immortal Cloud Sect, one of the hidden 5 hegemons, had suddenly sent people over, the atmosphere turned extremely grave. Sun Fei started to feel nervous again. He found that following Qin Feng required a lot of mental endurance. Otherwise, he would have died from a heart attack long ago. A ripple finally appeared on Qin Feng's usually calm expression. It was not because he was frightened by the power of the Immortal Cloud Sect, but because he was puzzled. Why did the people from the Immortal Cloud Sect come to the Devil City? Yun Qin Tu is. Young hero, I am Xianyun Sect's genius eldest disciple, Yun Jian. I am very pleased to meet you. To say. Yun? Qin lost. Qin. Qin. Yun Jian said. Who said? Yun Qin Feng simply glanced at Yun Jian and instantly lost interest in him. Why are you looking for me? A hint of coldness flashed in the depths of Yun Jian's black eyes. As the eldest genius disciple of the Immortal Cloud Sect, he had a great reputation in the pugilistic world. Most pugilistic people would take the initiative to curry favor with him. Now that he came to greet Qin Feng, the other party was cold and indifferent. Hero, you are powerful. But the pugilistic world is not as simple as you think. It's not wrong to keep a low profile. Yun Jian spoke in a lecturing tone. Halfway through, he changed the topic and continued. Our Immortal Cloud Sect's Yunjiao Mountain's great elder wants to see you. Come with me. The crowd was in a heated discussion. They were shocked by Yun Jian's words. They thought Immortal Cloud Sect only sent Yun Jian as their representative. Who would have thought that even Mount Yunjiao's head elder would come? It was rumored that Immortal Cloud Sect's sect master, Master Yun Lazy, was a stage 3 true Qi realm expert. The first person under the sect master was Mount Yunjiao's head elder, who was also at stage 3 true Qi realm. Everyone's gazes fell on Qin Feng. They wanted to see what this arrogant man was going to do. That was the level 3 True Qi Realm's head elder. Everyone felt that Qin Feng was going to give in. Even your head elder is here? Then bring me to meet him. Qin Feng felt that the Spirit Beast Commerce Group in the Devil City was a little strange. He planned to ask the Immortal Cloud Sect's head elder. Seeing that Qin Feng really gave in, the surrounding discussions became even more intense. Sun Fei's eyes suddenly lost its luster. He thought that Qin Feng would give him another surprise. Ignoring the Immortal Cloud Sect's elder and disciples, Sun Fei realized that he was thinking too much. Humph, you think you are so capable? Follow closely. Yun Jian sneered in disdain. He turned around and walked towards the inner hall. Qin Feng did not care about the discussions and Yun Jian's arrogance. Once he left, the crowd outside the hall immediately burst into an uproar. TSK, TSK. As expected of one of the hidden 5 hegemons, Immortal Cloud Sect. Look at how arrogant their head disciple is. I thought that ugly man would explode. What are you thinking? Other than Alliance leader Qin, who dares to ignore the might of the hidden 5 hegemons? That guy does have some skills, but no matter how powerful he is, he can't go against an inner hidden sect. Along the way, Qin Feng discovered that the hall was separated by a large inner hall. The decorations inside were of a higher grade. The lights were bright, and the place was quiet and elegant. It was like a different world from the outside. Every private room was filled with people. Qin Feng swept his gaze across them. They were all disciples of the inner hidden sections. The disciples of 7 Mountain Monastery that he annihilated previously could only be considered as the lowest existences here. This seemed to be a small gathering of the inner hidden sections. This made Qin Feng puzzled. Elder Yun, I have brought that person. Yun Jian had already walked to the innermost private room respectfully. However, he stood at the door and did not enter. An aged voice came from inside. I got it! Yun Jian retreated to the side as if there was nothing for him to do. Qin Feng stood in the inner hall and looked around. As a disciple of the Xiaoyao sect, Sun Fei had never seen such a big scene. There were a few times when he wanted to turn around and run. After Qin Feng looked around, he discovered that the disciples of the Immortal Cloud Sect, Qi Mountain Sect, Longevity Sect, North Profound Sect, Zixia Sect, Heavenly Eagle Sect, and other inner hidden sects were all here. These sects were considered as second-rate inner hidden sects, and their power was only below the hidden 5 hegemons. Moreover, Qin Feng had swept away the hidden 5 hegemons and defeated them. Now, among the second-rate inner hidden sects, many of them were faintly catching up to the existence of the hidden 5 hegemons like the Immortal Cloud Sect. Sun Fei was shocked. He wondered why so many inner hidden sects were gathered here. However, at this moment, someone walked out from the innermost private room. It wasn't just the great elder of Yunzhao Mountain. Behind him was a group of old men. They were the elders and representatives of the various inner hidden sections. It's over, it's over. Senior hero, let's run. Seeing this situation, Sun Fei almost fell to the ground. He secretly pulled on Qin Feng's sleeves and prepared to retreat at any time. Qin Feng's expression didn't change, as if he didn't know these martial arts big shots. He swept his gaze around and said, Yunzhao Mountain, you are it? What do you want from me? When the elders came out, the disciples in the surrounding cubicles all stood up one after another. At such a solemn and dignified moment, Qin Feng's words angered Yun Zhaoshan and the others so much that they almost fell to the ground. The sect disciples glared at Qin Feng and Sun Fei fiercely, looking as if they wanted to skin them alive. Ha ha! Young and frivolous indeed, just like this old man when he was young. Yunzhao Mountain suddenly looked up to the sky and laughed wildly. His old eyes flickered as he looked at Qin Feng and said, I wonder which sect this young hero is from? Why do you look so unfamiliar? Everyone looked over with a puzzled expression. Even Sun Fei didn't know which sect Qin Feng was from. With your status, you aren't fit to know this. If you have something to say, hurry up and say it. I don't have time to waste with you guys here. Qin Feng was as domineering as ever. His words caused a huge uproar. Sun Fei didn't know what to say to Qin Feng. He regretted following Qin Feng. This hero's strength was great, but there was something wrong with his intelligence. Without waiting for Yun Zhaoshan to speak, a gray-haired old man standing behind him was instantly enraged. He took a step forward and angrily rebuked, "Stinking brat, don't be so shameless when we're giving you face. We've gathered the disciples of all the major sects in the inner hidden here. Any one of them would be enough to kill you." That elder was Master Beishian of Profound North Sect. His raging true qi seemed to be soaring into the sky. As soon as he finished speaking, the surrounding disciples all looked eager to fight. "Even if the few of you join forces, you won't be able to do anything to me, let alone these pieces of trash," Qin Feng said honestly. Master Beishian was completely enraged. True qi surged out of his body, and without warning, he slapped towards Qin Feng. "Arrogant fool, why do we need to join forces? I can kill you alone." Boom! As soon as this palm appeared, a hole exploded in the air. Many of the sect's disciples were so frightened that they took a few steps back. They were deeply afraid of being affected by the shockwave. Sun Fei was already scared out of his wits. He stood on the spot like a stone pillar. Master Beishuan's skinny palm was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it landed on Qin Feng's chest. All the disciples had a playful look on their faces. It was as if they could already see the exciting scene of Su Yan flying away in the next moment. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and the smiles on everyone's faces froze. Sun Fei's mouth was wide open. He looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Qin Feng stood on the spot like a towering mountain. He didn't move at all. As for Master Beishian, it was as if he was hit by a train. His whole body smashed into the marble wall behind him. The bricks shattered, and a human footprint was left behind. 5 chapters for monthly votes. For the fastest and error-free reading, please bookmark this site and read the latest. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.